How's it going? I have some guests with me tonight. We got Stormcrow and Brian McCoppin. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Oh, I'm all right. I had to drag this guy by the heels to get him inside. I had to kill the pet because he said, "No, I don't want to be here with you guys." And I told him, "Too bad, you're going to be here anyway." So here's the victim, sir. Let's chew him up.
Well, here we are, guys. I know before the show we were talking a little bit about symbolism and a little bit of culture stuff, but I know people are probably sick of hearing about some of the culture stuff. Maybe we can talk about some writing or something.
Sure. Who wants to go first?
Well, are you going to write your Mansa Musa story? I know who that character is, but I don't think anybody in the world really knows who Mansa Musa is.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, so Mansa Musa, he was an African king. And I'm just kind of pulling from memory, a little bit. But he was like the richest man who ever lived. He's more rich than every billionaire on the planet, like put together right now. Bill Gates, Elon, all of them. This dude, he walked across Africa with his, royal entourage or whatever. And just as he passed through Egypt, he like bankrupted the country's economy.
Like, what?
Yeah, he was so generous. He would just give gold out to people, and as he was leaving Egypt or whatever, it just like collapsed behind him because he was so rich. Nobody touches that. No one touches it.
I mean, to be fair, in a day like this, a guy like that would have been shot before entering the city.
Yeah, I mean, sad but true. Okay, you got to assume he has like bodyguards.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
His entourage would walk through countries, and his entourage was so big they would suck up rivers dry. Again, this is the legend. I don't know how true it is, but suck rivers dry and eat the crops, and it would leave a barren waste behind them as they took all the wealth with them too as they walked around.
Oh boy. Yeah, so you could get dark with it if you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is. Like you said, he walked through Syria, and Syria was bankrupt later.
Yeah.
You can handle him. It'd be like if, let's say, Donald Trump went to like the poorest town in Mississippi, and his people bought everything and then just left.
Yeah. So while they're there, everybody loves them.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, this is awesome. It's like a party the whole time.
Yeah.
And then
they leave and the money just gone.
Yeah. Man,
there's a lesson there, but I just can't figure it out.
I think America figured it out.
Are you sure about that, sir?
Well, maybe in our own way. We don't exactly drink rivers dry.
No, we don't.
Maybe. I don't know.
I wish we did. That way the gas would go down.
True. There's that.
I don't have to take out a second mortgage just to fill up my car.
It's crazy how much it's fluctuated.
Yeah,
that's true.
But enough about real world politics, man.
That's true. I was just gonna bring up the Biden stickers on the pump. Like, oh, that is me. You know that one?
See, people have that on like their car too, pointing towards the gas cap.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that Mansa Musa story would be sweet as like a children's Disney movie.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, it's just him starting out. I mean, he didn't start out poor, but like his kind of his youth, building his wealth, building his army, and more than anything, his entourage, which is kind of like what he's most famous for. Yeah. And then just the mass of people that followed him because he's just giving out money all the time and wealth, and people who followed him got wealthy. And
so you can already see a cast of characters of people who actually like care for him and are good friends, and then those who are like fake friends. The whole thing could be just about friendship, and like versus money. So there's like important lessons there.
Remember the Prince of Egypt movie? Do it in that style.
Yeah,
I think that would be the way to do it.
That's what I imagined, kind of, and like Aladdin a little bit.
Yeah. You got to have the comedy. You got to have the silly people who, like you said, love him. There's always the evil people who are taking advantage of him. But he's like, I'm so wealthy. They can take advantage all they want. I'll never run out.
That could be like his superpower.
Right.
Like there's always more money.
Yeah.
like a gag, you know. Yeah, that'd be awesome though. There's also like a long line of powerful warrior African queens, like several. Like you could just list name after name after name after name, and they all did cool shit.
But hold on, are they the Woman King, real life African queens that we're dealing with here?
I actually think they're a completely different area of Africa and time in history, actually. But like there's so many. I'm telling you, there's so many names to draw from, just with cool stories attached to them.
Mansa Musa was like the 1400s or something like that. He was not terribly long ago.
Oh wow, I didn't realize he was that recent.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It wasn't that long ago. Because they say because they can actually kind of relatively track his wealth. They say, what about Solomon? Solomon may have had more money than him, but Solomon was like so far back they have no idea how much he had. So they give Mansa Musa the richest man title.
Oh, okay, got you. So there's other contenders probably.
Really, just Solomon.
Whoa. Okay, I want to cut in. All right, so Pritchard, Brian, I don't know if you guys seen this trailer yet, but do you guys know of a movie, a new animated movie about David?
A new one?
From David and Goliath.
No.
Okay. Okay, so there is a trailer, if you guys look it up, where it's like, I don't know if it was like the people that animated The Prince of Egypt, or are now doing it in CGI, but that kind of art style, you know, that old school DreamWorks art style, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking right now while you're talking.
Is this the one by
Yeah.
Oh, it's called David.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what?
Yes.
Okay. 2022.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
You know, looking at that movie, right? And then I look at movies like God's Not Dead, which I think we can all agree are not. You know, the intent is good, but the movies are just.
They're not bringing in the casual non-believer.
No, they're just not good in general.
Yeah. I would like to see a David movie that leans in on like the violence, because my favorite directed biblical quote is David. You know, he goes, "You come before me with slings and arrows and spears, and I come before you in the name of God. And today He will deliver your head to me." Yeah. Like that's a badass quote. I want a movie that says that.
And like, dude, the protagonist could actually be like a well-written chosen one because it's freaking David.
Yeah, like some ripped dude who's just, you know,
boss battle at the end with Goliath.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
You know, I'm surprised. Like, more studios don't lean into that. You know, like keep the morals, keep the philosophy, keep the lesson, right? Well, don't shy away from the violence.
Did you see the Noah movie with what's his face, the gladiator dude?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, it was way off. It wasn't anywhere near what the Bible says. But
I was going to say, yeah.
It was violent, at least, and it had action and had a good cast.
And they were trying to be like that realistic, gritty.
Yeah.
Like that we're talking.
It had Hermione Granger, who's one of my secret crushes, so why not? You know?
Celebrities.
No, I'm sad to say she got off that list a long time ago. Especially the way she treats JK. You know, disagree with her or not, but man, that entire cast, I'm sorry, but that entire cast were just a bunch of snakes at the end, you know?
Yeah.
Except Draco Malfoy, the actor for him, he's like, no, you know what? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her books, and you guys are going to do this to her?
That's true.
Like,
and she's not
the
even
fucking
saying
Slytherin
anything.
boy was more honorable and all that.
J.K. Rowling's pretty far left on every political stance except for transgenderism. Like she picked one she doesn't agree with, and they're after her.
Yeah, so she's basically a lefty.
Average Joe, yeah.
Yeah. But she's just like, hold on now, that's not true.
Yeah,
like that's literally not true. Oh, you hate me now.
Yeah, she was all in on Dumbledore being gay and all this stuff, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm all for it.
They poop in their pants.
Oh,
yeah. And she's like, but a woman's a woman, and they're like, oh no, and they're like clutching their pearls. Yeah.
Damn it! I want to stay away from politics.
It's writing still, It's hard not to mention J.K. Rowling when you mention writing,
That's true. I mean, one of the big ones, She's literally
She is.
a successful indie.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yep. I always forget that she was like not rich,
Yeah.
Because when I think of Rowling, I cannot not think of the movies, the books, and the theme parks, right? But I always forget that she started out like how poor was she? If you guys can tell me, I forgot.
Like she was writing her story on napkins because she couldn't afford paper,
Yeah.
kind of poor.
There's deep lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how 100% accurate it is, but I don't see why it wouldn't be because she was a nobody.
Yeah.
And she gave her story to like 20 people or 20 publishers. And they all shot her down, which it's like Frank Herbert. Frank Herbert gave Dune to like a dozen publishers. No. And the one publisher who said yes was a publisher known for doing automobile repair manuals. And they said, okay, we'll do this. And all of a sudden they're a book publisher.
By an automobile repair manual publisher.
Yeah, like it's like, hey, this sounds good. We'll do more of these. No more engine breakdown books.
Maybe we should do this too.
All right, that's funny.
Yeah, that's
all right. You know what? That is funny.
Imagine how dumb you gotta feel to be those publishers that were like up your own ass that you were like, no, agented authors only.
Teenage wizards, how dumb.
No thanks.
You know what I would
Spice?
do? If I was like the boss, of the people that rejected like Rowling and Herbert, I would just reenact the freaking beating scene from Casino with all those people who rejected them, and then bury them out in the boonies.
Who said no to Herbert? You're fired.
I bring out the machete in the back. Who said it? Who said it? All right, who said it?
Both those authors created a genre, really. Because from Herbert, you get like Star Wars and all the other rest. From Wrong, you get the teenage love superpower drama. It's really what it became.
That's what it comes down to,
yeah.
It didn't start out that way, but I get what you guys are saying.
Well, and Harry Potter taps into the whatever that thing is that like Eastern anime is tapped into, where it's like the high school kids.
It's a common background we all have. We all went to school.
Yeah.
So, and we all had bad and good times at school. And so if you can tap into that, it's powerful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all don't come from broken homes or whole homes necessarily, but like school.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
This is actually a very interesting topic then. Okay, so we both know, all of us know, that school as a setting pretty overplayed, right? Like you see in anime, movies, books, whatever.
Yeah.
If I was like a publisher, right, and I sat the both of you down, they're like, okay, listen, I want the both of you to write me a book, fantasy, sci-fi, or whatever, but it has to be in school. I don't care if it's high school, middle school, children's school, whatever, but you got to write me a book in school. How would you guys go about it?
It has to take place in a school?
Yeah, it can be whatever age, grade, whatever, but it has to be in school. And any genre, too. Just go crazy.
So, I'm writing my Paladin book series. I want to do one where part of the series, I don't know if you guys read the books or not, but part of the series is finding who the Paladins are, letting them discover that they have these abilities. It'd be interesting if a teacher had an ability and not knowing she had the ability, and the demon horde invades the school, and the Paladins have to protect her and the kids from the horde. I mean, it's off the cuff here. I can maybe do something like that,
Yeah. My brain goes right to like a noble-born Spartan prince or something, but not like an actual prince, just like one of the elites. He's a kid. And we get to see what like Spartan high school is like for like someone destined for greatness.
King Leonidas is 13.
Yeah. and we get to see like the bullies and some kids that don't make it and some who aren't naturally talented, some who are. But it would all be set within my world, obviously.
That's not like what's the With the kid is like the Greek gods in high school. What's the name of that series? Oh man,
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson. It's kind of like the Percy Jackson series with Sparta. That'd be kind of cool.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I draw
was
inspiration
not
from like
impressed with that
history.
series. I was
I
not
only saw the
impressed by that
movies,
series
and the movies weren't
because
great, but the book sold a ton, so somebody likes it.
Yeah, true.
yeah. But the problem is that they did not make Zeus the man slut that we all know he is. We didn't see that.
Yeah, you got to be accurate to the IP.
Yeah, you gotta show me the swan scene.
It's gotta
Otherwise,
be
I'm not
pirated.
impressed with your book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Plunder and booty.
So for my money, and this is something that the Mind Player hates me for. My main character that I'm writing about, and I'm turning into a book because Mind Player told me, dude, this character is so wild and so like involved in what we're doing that you better off just doing a Blink Pardo and writing a book about him. Because to give you an idea, my book would be more akin to a horror book.
Yeah.
And I pitched it to the chats a couple of days ago. Imagine American Psycho if it took place in the Halo universe.
American Psycho and like a high fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah.
I like it.
Basically, the main character, by some misfortune of fate, is the only one that's like viable to be trained to become basically like the Master Chief of this setting that Mind Player made for us. The problem is that he is completely insane. Not the frothing at the mouth, Dahmer insane. More like he's well trained, he is well armed, but he should not be.
I like that. Okay, so that reminds me of Jason 3000.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
I did. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do that.
Dude,
what was that?
The sleeping bag scene? Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
What's that Macaulay Culkin movie, The Good Child, where he plays like a psychotic kid who murders his brother and tries to murder his sister, murder his mom? So that kid grown up now, as a Spartan, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, as Master Chief.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, no.
So basically, it's not bad because the main character's name is Saul Rojas, King Saul.
I like that.
A little bit of an inspiration here. And his whole shtick is he has amnesia before the age of 14. He doesn't remember anything that happened to him before the age of 14. But that's not because, he bonked his head really hard. It's more like something really horrible happened to him that he had to like de-realize it in order to like function. Otherwise, he would be a vegetable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what he did to like fill his brain with stuff was, Star Trek Troopers, Halo, Lord of the Rings, like old school mythologies, right?
Yeah.
So he started to develop this medieval mindset to combat the alien threat we call the Necronites, right?
That's a dope name.
But but the problem is that one of the I don't want to spoil it because honestly, we're better off if I just show you in the campaign or the book, which comes out first. But like my player tells me, in a scene world, Saul Rojas would have been put in a mental asylum and never be allowed to leave.
Yeah.
But because humanity is really, really desperate for bodies, they will begrudgingly give him the training to become the Master Chief.
Well,
one of the things that I want you to keep in mind, he has a thing inside called the Cabinet, which is basically a place where he can talk to his multiple personalities to make decisions. And also, here's a funny. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, but like almost like an extra dimensional space where he can talk to his other personalities, like a mental space. I like
kind of like Inside Out, but full of copies of himself or have different personalities. There's an evil, angry one. There's a sad one. There's a horny one.
A horny one, yeah.
These are the ones I need. There is the librarian, which is where he keeps his memories, some of the books he learned, right? So he's like, hey, I want to know about this mass equation. The librarian can be like, okay, you read this, you studied this, here you go. the detective, hey, I want to know what this means. He's like, okay, buddy, literally a 1950s style noir detective inside his head. And his pills. He talks to his pills. His pills are literally a Jewish doctor to like helps him organize. Okay, Bubby. So I know you want to go into the girls' bathroom, steal their tampons, and make a Molotov cocktail out of the used tampons. Please don't do that.
Oh my god.
People will hate you for that.
Did you ever see the '90s show Herman's Head?
I don't think I have to know.
This is a '90s sitcom where a dude would go inside his head and talk to people, a psychiatrist, and a lot.
Oh wow,
this is cool.
That's like right on the money.
I have
right?
to check it out then.
It's the same thing. Herman's Head.
Almost.
Yeah.
He has a psychiatrist, and basically the psychiatrist said, "Listen, I give him the pills that will have to like wean him off the craziness." But then he just tells her, "Hey, so I've been talking to my pills, and they're not really helping me out. They're really like yelling at me because I want to do stuff, and they're just yelling at me. They're not helping me out." And she's like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, my pills are talking to me. They're yelling at me right now. You know what? I'll call you later. So even that backfired.
So hear me out here. This is what it sounds like. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's a story about a crazy guy as the protagonist, but he's a total badass like Master Chief. So it's not really about the badassness, because he's a badass, right? So he's gonna like win at the end of the day.
Fight.
So is the whole thing more about his relationship with like his other personalities?
With the people around. It's a 3-pronged approach that I'm trying to do here. Is the conceit of the story is simple.
Yeah.
Can broken people save the world? And can they save themselves at the end of it?
Like he has to get through that mental thing before he can get to the badass to save the world.
And is someone like Saul Rojas worth saving too? Because listen, I told my player, he is not a hero. You know, there are things he will do before he even gets that suit that you're like, oh man, this guy is defending humanity. Right. You know?
Well, because think of who would actually be in that position. There's some pretty ruthless people. At the tip
and listen, I told my player the thing that he does, right? And he tells me, okay, listen, to you and to the male audience, it is pretty cool what he did. He did it for a girl that he liked. Because he has friends. He has 2 best friends, right? But the thing is, they are normal. He is not.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you this right now. This is the freebie I'll give you for the backstory. This is personally perfectly. He takes the 2 of them to a forest. Like, this is on the cusp of their final year, right? The start of their final year in high school. They are all orphans. All of them. So basically, he has a girl called Ella Sissel. She's a girl. She will be like the Hermione. She's trying to become a doctor when she grows up. You know, a military doctor.
Yeah.
And she has like her right side completely burned. If she did not have those burns, she would be a very beautiful girl. But for now, she has those burns, right?
Yeah.
Then there's someone called Peter Aldera. He will be like the Ron, but he's like an engineer instead of magic. So he like builds robots, cars, jets, machines, right? He would be like, you know, and what he does is he takes the 2 of them to a forest, and basically his sole sugar is, okay, so we've hung out for a couple of years. I will consider the 2 of you my best friends, but since this is our final year and I will be training to become the super soldier that humanity needs me to be, I need to know I can rely on the 2 of you. And Peter's like, hey man, you know what? You got me, bro. You know you got me. I know you do, Mr. Onodera. And Ella is like looking around really nervously because she knows him. She's like, oh God, what is he going to do now? What is this guy going to do to me now? Yeah. It's like he never does anything to them personally. It's just that his actions, like what he's about to do is he takes out a gun that he stole from the sergeant that saved his life. Basically, he looks at the sergeant as his father. and the sergeant hates that because the sergeant never wanted to become like the mentor figure, but because everyone died out, he's like, okay, I guess I'll take charge now. And so he just went into the sergeant's room, took a pistol, right? He's like, wait, Saul, what did you get that? Oh, I just took it from the room. He has a bunch of them. He won't miss it.
Right.
He's like, Ella, I know you are the top of the class. So what I need you to do is I need you to heal me in a combat situation. What's the situation, Saul? He
Oh. Uh-oh.
He was having internet problems the other night too.
A cliffhanger. He
All
got
right, I'm back. He takes out the gun. He takes out the gun. He's like, this is what I need you to do. I need you to heal me. And he shoots himself in the foot.
Oh. Classic.
He's like, he shoots himself in the foot. And then Ella freaking the hell out. And Peter in shock. It's like, wait, whoa, what's happening? Ella, I need you to, ow, it hurts. It hurts really bad, but I need you to heal it. I need you to heal it. Okay? She does. Remember, this is a campaign. Start of this campaign. She got a good roll. She heals my foot. I'm with a limp because, I'm out in the forest. I didn't bring medical supplies because, hey, this is a battlefield. Sometimes you won't have that,
Yeah.
And then with Peter, after I'm limping towards him, it's like, okay, Peter, ow, it hurts, but never mind, Peter. I know you're smart. I know you can hack into anything. I need you to hack into this robot I brought. And Saul, the genius that he is, brought a used up, like really used up military pleasure bot.
Oh, okay.
And the way I described it to Mind Flayer, I told him, hey, so this robot is being used for 5 years, never cleaned, and I fished it out of the trash can one day. Ella immediately throws up. She vomits, and it's like, okay, so this thing is being used by like maybe an entire battalion. They all shared it. I don't know why they never cleaned it, but that's not the point. The point is, I need you to turn this thing off. I'm going to have it attack you, Peter. And Peter's like, wait, whoa, what? And he's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I put razor blades in its nails. So basically, it's going to attack you. Think of it as like your personal Terminator. And I throw Peter a BlackBerry to hack the robot. He's like, Saul, what is this? It's a phone. You hack things with phones. Saul? It's Peter. I'm not the one that has to figure out all the problems. You have to figure out the problems out yourself too sometimes, man. Go, fight the robot.
All right.
And
Sometimes
the way
the
Mind Flayer
fight
told
the
me
robot.
was, okay, yeah, go fight the sex bot. Go fight it. The used up, like, cum-dried sex bot. And, Peter, thankfully, got a good roll. And he just found out that, this thing has an off switch on its back. I just have to get around it and turn it off. And he does.
That's a good Zelda mini boss.
Both of my characters survive. Yeah. That's
Just
the
gotta
most
keep rolling.
mini boss. Yeah. And then the sergeant finds us all. The way I wrote it too, the sergeant finally finds us, right, in the forest. He gets out of the helicopter or whatever it is he rolls into. I stand to complete attention. It's like, everyone, send HUD. And the way Mind Flayer told me was, okay, so he looks at you, he looks at your foot, he looks at both of your best friends that you have now traumatized, he looks back at you with his glasses, and then we cut to me in the brig. We cut to Saul Rojas in the brig with a still broken foot. So yeah, that's how Saul Rojas.
Cut away.
Yeah, we just cut away to him inside a brig and left there for a month.
And this is the story inside of a school?
Yep, this would be like the part 1 introductory phase to the book.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry for going off on a tangent. I just get really passionate about this kind of stuff. I want to know, with everything I just said, would you guys like to read about him and what are your guys' problems with the character. All critiques are valid in my opinion, you know, unless you're a lefty, but you know.
I mean, for critique, I want to read more on how he handles, things he can't control. In that whole situation, he's kind of in control. He shot himself in the foot. He demanded healing. He got put in the
Yeah.
I mean, I like to see when he gets up against something he can't control. Which, if you're a psychopath, that's the situation that usually triggers your disability. So, that might be a good one to look at.
You know, it's funny
I don't know
because
what
my
else.
player constantly throws me situations I cannot control, and there's been mixed results to what we always talk about this to a fine edge, so then we can write them down in our own books. You know, collaborative storytelling is what he calls it.
Oh no, that's the term. Yeah, that's the term. That's why D&D is so awesome. Or actually, I should just say role playing.
Yeah.
Tabletop. Yeah, your story sounds a lot like horror comedy. Like, if you delivered it in a horror comedy way, but still like maintained the badassness of the protagonist, like you kept comparing him to Master Chief and stuff. Like, I really think he should be so badass that like the boss battle is negligible.
Yeah.
You
Almost
know
like
what I mean?
a Homelander from The Boys,
Or like Superman.
Yeah. He's
all
powerful but crazy.
Yeah. He has to get through his Lois Lane issues, and that's the theme of the episode. And then
He
in
knows
the last
he can rip her head off, but he chooses not to.
Yeah, and in the last 5 minutes is when he goes and defeats the bad guy. You know what I mean? Because it's not about that or whatever. It's about him struggling and learning and all that.
It's like, I think that's why like the Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire was so good, because he sucks at life, but he's really good at being Spider-Man. Like, he loses the pizza job, he can't get the photo job, he loses his girlfriend, but he still beats the bad guys. So like it's a relatable kind of story. And I think your character can have those kind of struggles where he can beat anybody in a fight, but getting through school and getting dumped by girls or
everything else.
You know, thank you so much for putting that into words, because I have been struggling for months. And like, okay, listen, this character, he's pretty violent, you know? Like, he would be the villain in any other, like, this kind of book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do I make him, like, worth following, you know?
Oh, gotcha.
And you guys just, he's really good at fighting aliens, but with everything else, just regular human interactions, he is absolutely horrible.
Yeah. It's kind of like Superman with Christopher Reeve. Everybody liked Christopher Reeve, but let's say you picked an actor who was a jerk. Like, I go back to Homelander with The Boys. But if Homelander had a secret identity and he couldn't, for whatever reason, he couldn't reveal a secret identity, it's like he knows, like the Man of Steel, when the Clark Kent character is a waiter or whatever, and he goes outside and he puts the semi-truck on the phone pole. Like, he's not going to fight the guy in the bar because he doesn't want to reveal the identity. So he goes outside and just destroys his semi-truck. You know?
I like that.
And hopefully I write it in a way where it's compelling enough where you guys want to keep reading about him, because like I told you before the stream, this is a character I turned into a dad. So just imagine this kind of person, right? Was like, forget the psychopathy for a bit. This is someone that has a lot of trauma, like he's a war veteran. And, sometimes war veterans come back home and, they try their best. And that's another struggle I would absolutely love to explore with him. And it's a struggle that Mind Flayer is making really difficult for me to handle, because like I said before the stream, I can stare down aliens. He can stare down aliens, right? Xenomorphs. Just like the absolute worst that the galaxy can throw at him. But like raising a daughter, that's just something that like he cannot handle. I found out. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's relatable.
it is. Like, I'll show you how I can relate. So these are my karate tournament trophies. I win a lot of tournaments. I'm a very good karatekia, and mostly sparring is my specialty. I got 3 daughters, as you saw, and they scare the shit out of me. They terrify me sometimes. So that's a relatable feature where, as a guy, there are things you excel at, your job, your hobby, but your family can terrify you. Like it's not that you're scared of them in a physical way, but you're scared that you're going to fail them in some way.
Yeah, and it's sad because I thought, no, okay, listen, I would never, it's kind of hard to separate your creation when you're the artist, right? But I would never run away from my daughter like that if I had one. But, I only felt with Sandra was like, no, okay, listen, this situation, I can't be here. So I just made up an excuse and I left for the night. I didn't stay at home. I didn't cheat. I didn't do anything. I just like, okay, I can't be here. All right. I'm just gonna make the situation worse, so I just left.
So this sorry, you go. Continue.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So I need to double back to the how to make people want to follow your character, but
Please.
I need to get this other thought out first. So I would be careful with the crazy factor. Definitely go into it, but like one thing my wife has informed me of, for example, for the character in my novel, is I have allowed the character to go so far into this direction of going off the rails that there's a level of unlikability that can kill any chance of connection before it even starts, if that makes sense. Like, people don't forget, and they sometimes don't forgive, and it is really hard to make people want to follow your character and root for them and all that. That is literally the question. Like, how do you do that? It's tricky. But just be careful on, because like there's been moments where I've had to like pull back myself a little bit, like oh, and then this happens, but it's like I don't really want to write that, all right. I just kind of like, in those moments where you hit those walls, you can take it as a challenge to just think of a different path. For example, like, what's a way I can still have her respond like in an angry, crazy way if I need it to be angry and crazy, but like it can go in this different path, and then suddenly it opens up a bunch of doors you didn't even know were there. Like what McCoppin was saying, like, family can be terrifying, and for a character that is so used to winning all the time and can stare down a xenomorph, when it comes to looking his daughter in the eye, and while they're struggling or whatever.
Yeah.
I think if
you're trying to make a character likable, at least you want your fans to be engaged with the character. You gotta pick your audience. I heard somebody really wisely said that the male audience wants to aspire to be like the character. The female audience wants to see themselves as the character. So it's a different type of writing you're aiming for. So I imagine this character is more for a male audience. So you got to give him some traits to aspire towards beyond just, I'm the best fighter in the world. There's got to be something about him that the guy can, like, man, I want to be like that because I have a similar weakness that guy has. I can overcome it and be more like him in the story. So find his flaws, I would say, because you really establish his strengths. And I don't mean like his psychopathy, but like relatable flaws, like his weaknesses. His psychopathy is probably a strength. It probably helps him fight. Yeah. That capacity for violence, where you can turn off your apathy for the person you're beating. Turn off. I don't care how much damage I do to this guy.
Yeah. When I played RimWorld, I fished for psychopaths because they're the only ones who will butcher humans. That's the only way to play the game, guys. You need to make human sausages. But anyway.
Oh, easy.
Hey, Emily.
What up, Evelyn?
Easy. One of the things I have in the book, he has to go to a psychiatrist because it's mandatory. You know, he has to do it. And he immediately started judging other patients. And it's like, man, really? People compare me to these crazies? And the voices in it says like, oh, yeah, they do. It's like, but I'm like, I look like Patrick Bateman for hell's sake. You know, I work out, I eat good, I maintain a good appearance, I'm disciplined, and like they're gonna compare me to these guys. You know, like.
Have you watched The Sopranos at all, Stormcrow?
Oh yeah, all seasons, all the 6 seasons.
I would tap into that a little bit because he goes to the psychiatrist every episode, and he's this badass gangster, but he has family problems. So it might be some traits you can steal for your character.
It's right up there. Yeah, it's right up the right alley there. And like when you say it's in the Halo universe, I just can't help but think of all these crazy adventures on different planets with different monsters and stuff.
Well, okay. I say Halo universe, but I need to say more akin to like the situation humanity is faced in. Let me explain. In this setting that my player gave me to play around with, there are only 1 billion humans left on Earth.
Oh, how many?
1 billion.
Okay.
All across the world.
Nice.
And basically, the aliens themselves landed on Earth, you know, and we are not even like an enemy worth considering. We're like ants to these guys. Like they harvest us for like our adrenochrome, basically our spinal fluid, because this is something my player told me. They're basically space vampires.
Space vampires for spinal fluid?
Yep.
That's awesome.
I guess we want it to be weird, you know?
Yeah.
And that's it. Like those are my enemies that I'm fighting. And that's the situation. And I say Halo universe because I'm saying like in a desperate, like last stand sort of way. But what's to stand on? Like like when my player told me we're only gonna have like 1 billion humans on Earth, like how the hell are we going to win? We're not gonna win this. It's like yeah, he tells me, it's like, who says you're gonna win? The dice said I'm gonna win. You know what? Since you're gonna let me write in this universe, the author, being me, says the human is gonna win. So how about them apples? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Making your character relatable is an age-old question, my friend. How do you make people
I know what I'm not gonna do with him. I'm not gonna make him a Mary Sue.
No.
Like I am constantly telling him, okay, how do I not make a Mary Sue? How do I not make a Captain Marvel? You know, how do I not make a She-Hulk? Because that's not something that's not going to happen with me, man. I hate those characters, and I do not want to make them.
Well, right off the bat, him being able to beat the crap out of anybody and stare down a xenomorph and stuff. Well, okay, is he like Superman?
No, he's a regular human.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. All right, that's better. Because what I was describing about like the Superman comparison and everything is like more for like a iconic character. I mean, Superman's a great example. His powers are already there, you know.
So you're thinking more like the Ben Affleck movie, The Accountant. He's a little messed up, but he's a fantastic hitman.
Yeah. And you know, with iconic characters, they're established basically. You know, Sherlock Holmes. You know, the story starts and then boom, he's already Sherlock. Yeah. He's doing stuff.
I miss movies like that, where like the old James Bond movies. I don't care about the backstory anymore. Just like you said, I know the character. Everybody knows the character. Batman, Superman. You're going to do superhero movies. Just go.
Yeah, we've heard superhero before.
Yeah,
we've heard it.
I want to see like I know the Blue Beetle was a whole thing. I'm rooting for like a Booster Gold movie, but they do no backstory. He just shows up in the year 2020, has all the technology from the year 3000. They don't explain any of it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Fun.
Well, like they don't really explain like Robin Hood or Zorro or any of these too much, do they? Like the characters are, well, okay, they do in exposition.
Yeah,
in like some of them,
especially the Zorro movies. Like he is Zorro. Even like the recent ones, Antonio Banderas, Anthony Hopkins. His Zorro's been Zorro for like 30 years now. When the movie starts, and it's just Zorro handing off Zorro title to somebody else, the Antonio Banderas character. So it's kind of, I like that because you don't need a backstory on why he's Zorro. We know why he's Zorro. The Mexican government sucks. That's why he's Zorro.
Yeah, and that's the same backstory as Robin Hood.
Right, the government sucks.
Yeah.
You know, an American version of this. The government sucks. What do you do? I just take money and give it to people.
I know my next dozen characters.
That's easy. The Punisher. I would say the Punisher. It's kind of like Zorro. Oh no! I'm sorry. I take it back. The Shadow. Lamont Cranston. He's the version of them. You know, the government and crime sucks. The Shadow.
You know, I think there's an intellectual essay somewhere between Zorro and the Punisher. I think that's a good comparison. Is he? No. Yeah, he's just like a really messed up Zorro, right? And what does Zorro do? Man,
Zorro was just a rich guy who saw a wrong and went to go right. He's kind of like Batman in a way. He didn't have the trauma that Bruce Wayne may have had, so he's not the psychopath that Bruce Wayne probably is. He's just a good sword fighter. But like the Punisher is more like a vengeance thing. Like his family was gunned down by the mafia, so everybody who's closely related to the mafia must die.
Yeah,
planet. Yeah, kill everybody.
And once he runs out, might as well just continue with other criminals.
Right. Yeah. Have you seen, or I should say, read Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe?
No, I've heard of it though.
He just kills everybody. It's great. It's really good.
And then he kills himself in the end.
Kills himself. Like I'm the last one.
He kills himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
You know.
Did you hear that they resurrected his wife just to have her talk shit to him and then divorce him?
Yeah. And then another dude take over the role with a not the skull symbol anymore. It's just like it's vaguely a skull now as a symbol. Because apparently it's a white supremacist logo now or something.
Oh, whatever. That's the Punisher skull.
That's not white supremacy these days.
I know.
There's a very simple solution there. Don't read any Marvel to do with Punisher now. Go back to the early 2000s and read Punisher Max. I will say this. That's probably the only thing that is absolutely amazing that Carson has wrote.
I'll tell you, for as much nostalgia as I have about some of those old IPs, I got my completed collection of the thing I wanted to get right before I started going really hard on the Iron Age. And that was pretty much going to be my last thing, I think. Because I can't justify getting like a bigger IP when I have like literal friends that I literally want to read their stuff. Like I want to order it and have my own copy and stuff, you know.
I'm back. All right.
There he is.
As I was saying. Are
you like on a
only
boat?
Thing that
It's wonky.
Oh man.
The only thing I think that Garth Ennis wrote that was actually like 10 out of 10 for me was Punisher Max. You know, Preacher. Yeah, the story was cool, but the art style was complete garbage. The Boys, not a big fan of the artwork or the story. Honestly, it's just like an edgier version of Watchmen. You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
He wrote Ghost Rider, which sucked massively. He has some really amazing Soldier World War II books, which I think those are like his biggest strengths. He wrote a horror book called Crossed, which is Like if you wanted to see like Garth Ennis just unleashed, like be like, you know what? I hate humanity. Humanity sucks. Let me just write an entire book about that premise across the street. Not for me because it's there's only so much Garth Ennis I can handle before I get tired of him. Punisher Max uh, struck that chord between edgy and cool perfectly. So just stick to Punisher Max and do not read anything else.
Yeah. I would say there's a reason that they're trying to demolish the Punisher so badly. And it's probably some of what you mentioned, you know. They know that I don't know, the Punisher represents something that they don't like, you know, and I don't think it's just like that symbol offends us. I think there's more to it, and I think it has to do with like his personality or something.
He represents, you know, at least the way I view it, is the average man taking the law into his own hands when the law is not sufficient enough.
Yeah.
And that can lead to extreme things. So,
you know,
golly gee, it's almost like the law has been complete and utter worthless for the past 4 years. Why would anyone think that?
It's like, you've seen the movie Punisher with Thomas Jane, right? When I love it because it's filmed here in Tampa. I recognize the landmarks and stuff. I've been to the restaurants and stuff. So when he shows up at the courthouse, that's like the mayor of Tampa in the background. It's kind of neat. Pam O'Reilly with the background there. But he's like, I imagine you're mad. He goes, I'm mad when the Yankees win the pennant. How do I feel today? That's a great line. I love that. I mean, I know it's not a great movie, but you know, as a Tampa boy, whenever they make film here, I gotta go check it out and enjoy the sights.
It's kind of like Fargo for me in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Ooh, Fargo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fargo. Let's geek out a minute for Fargo, sir.
Oh, it's bad.
I'm sorry. I am sorry, but I have to. What the hell was that movie about?
A murder.
Yeah.
You know?
Murder, bro.
Murder mystery. Yeah.
With a lot of dialogue.
It's really well done. It was kind of the first time that the Minnesotan don't you know was kind of mainstream for a character and a heroine. Like it kind of was unique in many ways because of that.
So good representation.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was exaggerated and like 99% of Minnesotans don't sound like that.
Oh, they don't.
They don't.
My wife's family's from Wisconsin, so they have a little bit of that too. Like, a little bit of that.
Super Mario Brothers or something.
Oh God, man! Listen, I know it's a stereotype, but Wisconsin is just home to like the worst serial killers you guys can think of. You know,
that's true.
Hey, you laugh.
It's also the most lottery winners.
I mean, Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, the clown guy.
Well, it's probably
what is it about you guys?
It's just snowy and cold all the time. So, like my wife's family, all they do is drink. Like they've got like breweries in their basement. Like they just drink. So imagine if you're not drinking or having intercourse. Option 3 is murder. I don't know.
Yeah. Wearing people's faces, making lampshades. You know.
I'm still disappointed that Mrs. Royce has not made one yet.
A lampshade?
Yeah, out of human skin. She has all those skulls in her house, and she doesn't have like one nipple on any of them. That's bullshit.
0 nipples. That is disappointing. And you know, to be fair, Royce would probably be a decent lampshade.
Just his hair.
Just the wig on top.
Yeah,
with like the light. Yeah. I don't know how we got on lampshade. These serial killers in Wisconsin. I've seen Making a Murderer. I've seen that. You know, they're not always murderers in Wisconsin. Sometimes they're engineered and just painted as them. Dude, that documentary is so crazy. Yeah. Blew my mind.
they want the views. That's what it comes down to. The media wants the views, so they can turn this person into a monster. There's views,
and it kind of demonstrates how the media can kind of control the outcome of court cases, which we've seen in real time over and over again in the last few years.
In high school when OJ got off, so I saw they had it on the TV in the classroom. It's like, oh shit, how do you get off?
Cool. The news can just say stuff and affect that. Wow, that's crazy. It's almost like it wasn't meant for any of the information in the court to be out to the public, like before it's like, I don't know, because like how easy is it to go out there and like just start saying stuff?
Yeah, I mean, even now they get the jury, they dox the jury, and then they flood the jury's family with like, hey, we'll give you money if you do this, and then all of a sudden the court case has changed, or the media wants the villain so that if they can make this person who may or may not be innocent definitely guilty, they get more views, because they want to get the monsters. And
if whatever they're swaying to happens to be the outcome, well, then they look like they were like right all along too.
Yeah. It's even like hurricane things. Like, oh yeah, hurricane's definitely going to hit New York this time. Like, it's not going to hit New York. Are you insane? No hurricanes hit New York in like 1,000 years.
That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Well, they were saying that this week.
Like, this week?
Yeah, they're like, there's a hurricane. It's a Cat 5, but it's like 1,000 miles out. Like, oh, this one's coming. First they said DC. I'm like, no, I'm DC. Now it's hitting New York. No, New York.
Dude, that'd be crazy. That'd be a wild year this year. Because didn't like California get messed up?
Hurricane and an earthquake, which is kind of unheard of. I mean, hurricane's unheard of for California. So
unheard of
for California. It's pretty rare.
Okay. Not quite 1,000 years in New York rare, but still pretty rare.
Yeah. Because like the San Diego area where it came close to hitting is notorious for good weather because the way the mountains are shaped make good weather there. Like it's hard to get storms there.
Yeah.
So,
listen, I know I'm going to sound evil for saying this, but can San Francisco finally drown and die so we can be rid of them?
Was Tool right? Just cut off the city and learn to swim.
Yeah. Let all the Marxists and the socialites die out, please. And the pedos. I want them all dead. You know?
It's funny how Maxwell can, and I see Evele brought up Ghislaine Maxwell here. It's funny how Maxwell can be charged for soliciting prostitution of minors, but in order to do that, you need a patron to be soliciting too. So she's
like, you arrest the drug dealer. Like, who's he selling it to? Oh, we can't tell you.
Selling it to no one. But you're selling it. Yeah. Okay. Seems legit. And I mean, I could go on. We could go into should we put some tinfoil on, boys? Should we do that? Go on.
Bro, my heart's tinfoil. My hand's tinfoil. I can make it very easy for you guys. The world is run by satanic pedophiles.
Hollywood, you said?
Am I even too far? Oh, the world.
Oh, the world.
Yep.
So
like there's always one.
Oh,
sorry to change subject back, but I guess Sandy is a hurricane that hit New York. Mind Flayer, you got something there?
Where's that?
Oh yeah, Hurricane Sandy buttfuck New York. And hey, you, now you fucking show up and talk to me? I've been trying to call you all day, and you fucking ignore my calls, and you're giving me this excuse of, bro, Stormcrow, the phone is slag. I can't talk to you. That's no excuse, man. Like, I need my bro to get me through the day. Like, a woman is not enough. I need a bro. And you're my bro, and you weren't there for me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. Okay, this is me trolling.
I have to make a difference. The origin of the tinfoil hats. So in the 70s, when we had radio waves kind of taken over and broadcast television, people thought that the broadcast television was going to go right into your head. And wearing a tinfoil hat will prevent that from happening. That's kind of where that started. So
cool. That's a cool origin.
Yeah. Player.
It's a sweet origin, I'm not gonna lie.
Like, oh, they're putting TV on satellites? Oh, I'm gonna block that signal.
You see that TV? You hear the radio? It's gonna go in your head. You're gonna block it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
So,
I have to respond to my player. He's calling me gay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you 90s gay? Least acceptable.
Why are you gay? No, I was.
Well, there are many sociological, biological, and philosophical reasons why I thought cock, sir. Don't you understand? It is all a theory. I think we call it the fact theory or the queer theory. I can't tell. Maybe we were being postmodern. I'm being a postmodern philosopher, you see. Postmodernism is really fashionable, you see. Don't you know?
The darkest.
Postmodernism is
Marxist.
Gateway communism. I heard.
So okay, all right. So Stormcrow said his conspiracy. McCoppin
Was my conspiracy?
Yeah. Pick a conspiracy.
Oh, my favorite is that every politician is a demon.
Ooh, nice.
I actually believe that. I mean, I know it's a theory, but I like it when you see like a person's politician and like they age horribly. And I don't think, honestly, I don't think it's a stressful job. I look at them; they take a lot of vacations, they do a lot of time off. I think the aging is the demon possession or whatever taking its toll on the human body,
like sucking their life out.
Yeah.
Oh man. And it's weird because like
that theory.
you see it.
Like I've known people, 20 years, a police officer, very stressful job. They don't age as bad as a politician in 4 years who have a very cake job. So
yeah, it's super weird. Like you see, like Obama aged, he aged quite a bit, but then like Trump was just like, like, I eat McDonald's.
Maybe he's not possessed. Like he's one of the few.
Right. He's just like. Dude, it's also kind of weird how he's also kind of like the guy that slipped through the cracks of the system in a way.
Yeah. Like
so,
when he showed up at that first debate, no one thought like, nah, he's a gag, he's a joke, he's a Ron Paul,
Yeah, I thought it was a gag. All of a sudden, like, I blinked and he was the president. I was like, damn.
The whole world lost its mind in response. Like,
super entertaining.
Yes.
Super entertaining.
And now I blink, and he's gonna go to jail.
What? Oh yeah, he's gonna go to jail.
So,
he'll probably do some time.
Now
did you hear about the?
There's nothing in the Constitution says you can't be a felon and president. Nothing.
Yeah,
so like,
really?
he might be wearing a jumpsuit doing the acceptance speech.
That's fine. Make history.
He's like, my first act, I'm pardoning myself.
He needs to make that same face every photo up.
Oh, the mugshot face?
Yeah. The best meme of that I saw was the lady.
Can we do like the Obama?
Some smokes from the gas station. The old lady getting smokes from the gas station. I'm out of Pall Malls.
Memes from that have been amazing.
Yeah, that was
the face the bartender makes when you hit no tip.
Dude, he made like $10 million like the first day or something, the first week, whatever it was.
It backfired so much.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was profiting, actually.
Yeah,
it was a boost to the economy. Weird enough. Super weird. Yeah.
Man.
My conspiracy.
Can we just all agree that? Sorry.
Wait, so hold on again. Let's review. Stormcrow, you said the world's run by maps?
Satanic maps, yeah.
satanic maps, and then
What's a map?
Brian,
What's a map?
minor attracted persons.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to like trigger any weird
Yeah.
algorithms. But yeah. And so Brian, and yours is the demons. That kind of reminds me of David Icke's reptilian theory.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear that? Who knows? All I know is he just recently sold out like a stadium giving a talk, so people
maybe he and I are both right. Like the demons look like reptiles.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, I mean, Satan was personified as a snake, so
right. Kukulkan was the god of knowledge for the Mayans, I think. I have a terrible memory. It's either the Aztecs or the Mayans. I can't remember which one. But he's the flying snake guy. And he's also the bestower of knowledge for them. I believe Lucifer means light bringer, or like knowledge bearer or something like that. And like you translate, when you look at like that translation and look at all the other cultures, they all happen to be like snakes and dragons and light bearers or some sort of like evil devil. I don't know. It's super weird.
We should do a stream on this demon mythology. For my books, the researchers, I got a ton of wild theories, like how Muhammad's father was Abdul Allah, which is like, wait, if Muhammad was the first to call Allah Allah, why is his dad called Allah? Like, it's a weird, deep. I go deep on this.
That's a good point.
Don't judge. I'm kind of a mythology geek myself.
That's fine.
And mostly because I'm going the Tolkien route, and I'm trying to create my own little, I would say, galaxy-wide Middle Earth. Just
that's cool.
Having that kind of deep, most 1,000 years to go. Figures from the
losing against Storm.
Oh no, he's caught in the storm.
From the Islam text is Methyllus. If you guys know what that is.
What, you say that last part again?
You guys hear me?
I heard Methodist. It sounds like you said, do you know what the Methodists are? Yeah, I'm aware of
that. Yeah.
No. I said one of my favorite figures from the Islam text is a demon called Methyllus.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
okay.
Or no, I mistook that one. Shaitan. You guys know who Shaitan is?
It sounds like a Mortal Kombat character, but I've never heard of it.
Or Shere Khan from Jungle Book.
Yeah, that's another good one. Shao Kahn.
Well, Shaitan, I believe, is called a jinn, and jinns are interesting. The jinns are basically like spirits, like smoke or incense spirits, right? And they have a semi-similar relationship that angels have with humans. Only the jinn would be more neutral, because the jinn don't necessarily go the way the angels do, the way Christianity or Judaism does, right? But also the jinn have a choice. Like, I'm mixing a lot of details here, but the point is, like, the jinn have a chance, like, to just be like regular desert spirits. They can interact with sometimes. Yeah. But depending on what, like if a priest, or I don't really know what the Muslims call them, they can convert. So it's like basically imagining like a pastor or like a priest from the Catholic Church convincing a demon to go back to the good guys, worship God again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Redeem.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing anything. I genuinely find it fascinating.
Oh yeah. So
I'm
what on
sorry,
that
you guys
note,
keep going.
Jinn are absolutely fascinating for starters. Sorry about the dogs, by the way.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think Katie's coming home. So.
Character. Yeah, mine do the same. Like if the wife pulls up, the dog will go nuts.
Yeah.
Only for her though. Like I mean, everybody else pulls up, the dog doesn't bark. Like we had a dude like looking in our car. He wasn't barking. I had to go outside and yell at the guy.
Doesn't give a crap.
I'm doing your job.
He's like, I don't know that guy.
he's like scoping our cars out, looking to break in. Like, get out there.
Go say something to him.
I had to go. I was like, they won't arrest you, dog, if I beat him up or if you beat him up.
Yeah. So, all right, real quick, and on the subject of Jinn, I was trying to find a good example while I was listening to Stormcrow talk here, because like I know the specific type of video to watch, dude. Okay, me and my wife, one of our pastimes is like watching ghost videos, like real life ones, and it gets weird over the years, seeing the reoccurring things that happen internationally, even Jinn are one of them. Like in the Middle East, when they encounter shadow people, they call it Jinn, and I don't know, recently with like the internet and stuff and people communicating. Oh, we lost Stormcrow. They can even get to the point where they can almost provoke these things to like do stuff. And like, okay, basically these Saudi ghost hunters will go into like abandoned ruins.
Ghost stories. Here we go.
Yeah, you got it. I already got the lighting. I'm already good to go. But so these Saudi ghost hunters will go into abandoned ruins, or like old buildings or whatever, in the desert, and they'll just be on like Snapchat Live. So they're like live streaming with their phone, and they're by themselves completely, and it's dark. They have a flashlight and their phone, and they're just like kicking doors in, and like just shit goes crazy almost every time. And like it's live, and it's an abandoned place. Like, you know, this guy, it's not a fake video, basically. And when you see the irrational stuff that happens in the videos, like how did that thing get thrown at him across the room, and like who's slamming the doors behind him and stuff. But anyway, I digress. The Jinn are there's something more to that, and I think like there's also like a weird difference between them and like typical like American hauntings, I should say. So yeah, I don't know what ghosts are, but they kind of freak me out, and I have theories, you know. But it's just speculation. I've never seen one.
I got some ghost stories. I've encountered a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best story, on one of my wife and I's anniversaries, we did this bed and breakfast in St. Augustine. And it's not particularly known for being a haunted bed and breakfast per se. But the keeper there was like, yeah, people have said they've seen spirits here. There's these little army dudes that they'll see what change locations. I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. I'm kind of a skeptic. So we go, and our room is on the third floor, the top floor of the bed and breakfast. It's just us up there. It's like this old house has been converted, so we go to the top floor, and there's only one stairway up to our room, and we have our balcony. That's all we have, just a stairway, our room, and the balcony. So we're just chilling, like there's an antechamber in a room. We're in the antechamber, just kind of chilling, taking a nap after a walk around St. Augustine all day, and all of a sudden, it felt like a baseball.
Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here!
Sorry about that.
Get out!
Listen, it felt like a baseball hit me in the head, and I had a lump. My wife can feel the lump. I can feel the lump.
I'm sorry.
So I said, I'm yelling at my wife, what'd you throw at me? What'd you throw? She was on the other side of the room. I didn't throw anything at you. I was like, oh. So we go to bed that night, and we hear footsteps on our balcony. Like, we are the only ones that have this balcony. And we wake up and we're looking at footsteps. Well, then I go back to sleep. And then I thought the wife had pulled the blanket off me, which she does sometimes. The blanket was on the other side of the room away from us. Something had thrown the blanket across the room and started grabbing my foot. So we only
You
stayed
didn't
there.
even set up.
Oh man,
That's crazy. So here, you're gonna have to tell Katie that again.
How about we do
Go
Yeah,
this?
you just hop in. You just hop in. I'll get the phone.
Jesus.
So
Hold on.
right here,
What?
Welcome back, Storm.
if you need to mute it,
I was here for that whole bit.
even touch
Are
the
you
screen.
serious?
What?
Why is our mic so loud? You can hear Orky's nails clicking.
Yeah, because it auto adjusted on the website.
Okay, I have to trim their nails. Hey guys.
Hey, how's the new job?
It's amazing, actually.
Yeah, I saw you. You look happier actually.
It's funny when people are like all impressed that I know what I'm doing around vehicles. Impressing all the high school boys. They think it's the coolest shit ever. They're like trying to
Hey.
teach me stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Hey, first off, I'm 24. All right, I'm in high school. I'm in trade school. Yeah, you know this. That's the adult school. I'm actually the senior of 3 kids in that school right now. They think I'm cool for some
I think
damn
you're
reason.
I think
Okay
you're
then.
cool.
Okay then, never mind then. I am cool.
Yeah, it's been really cool for sure. I've always liked working on cars and been interested in them. What about you? Why are
We're
you
telling
whispering
ghost stories. That's why I'm whispering.
Okay, well they asked how my new job was.
Okay, sorry.
Go away.
Okay.
You had your time with them. No, I'm just kidding. Right back. Why do I hear myself so loud? You guys, this is crazy. Really hard to deal with hearing our voices echoing after we talk so loud in this thing.
I understand. I was here for the first stream. You guys were fighting with the microphone.
Can you guys wait? Are you wearing a mic?
I got a thing.
I have headphones and phone. I hear you fine. I hear you fine. You know.
What is that?
I was trying to do mood lighting with one of our toys. You missed the epic fight my daughters had in the background earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
They were massacring each other. It was a snuff film. It was awesome.
Oh, that sounds like my sister and I. We used to like bite each other, kick each other, just be rolling around vicious.
Yeah, they do karate with me, so they're all black belts like I am, and they just go nuts. But today was Star Wars, so they're doing Star Wars fights.
What's the age difference?
The oldest is 15, and then the second one's about to be 13, and the last one's about to be 11.
Oh,
You know, don't judge me. Mind Flayer did something horrible to me. He got me to watch Bluey. You guys know
I love that
Bluey
show.
is?
That show's amazing.
Bluey's amazing.
Yes, best show in decades.
Yeah, even parents watch it without their kids.
I was very skeptical to watch it because, like, this is a modern day show. Everything modern made is garbage. We all know this. But Bandit, man, Bandit just touched my heart.
Yeah,
I'm not a father, but
I love it.
Bandit's gold.
It's a real family. They act like a real family. And
yeah,
I love the Scottish Terriers, the twins, because they all do karate together. And I just
Did you guys see the episode? It's our son's favorite, where Bingo's having a dream, and it shows what's happening in real time, and then what's happening in her dream.
I don't think I've seen that.
And then towards the end of it, she like gets pulled towards the sun, and she's all warm, and that's when her mom's cuddling her.
That's great.
Yeah, and our son
they tell the story.
I have not gone too far.
Dad tells
I'm
them
not
story
getting
about
into a
80.
journey within,
Well, Stormcrow, when you end up having kids in a few years, it's going to be a mandatory watch. So,
Oh, no, sir. I already have rules set out. Like, if I have a daughter, like, these are the 2 rules that my daughter has to follow if she wants me to love her. Yep, that's right. I'm going that way. Rule number 1, no boys, ever.
they're
Oh,
going to
come
break those
on.
rules. They're
Yes,
going to break
come on,
those
nothing.
rules.
No boys, okay?
No, okay. I will tell you one thing, and this is real. My dad was always the dad that was like, I don't care what you do, how bad you fuck up. You can always tell me the truth. Come to me. If you're drunk, I'll come and get you. Don't do anything stupid like drive, all that kind of stuff. And I always felt like I could talk to my dad. And I was a pretty damn good kid. I've never been arrested or, I didn't get pregnant at 16.
Okay,
My parents were the same
all right.
way.
This feeds into the second rule. Like, I will do all of that, but when I tell you, don't tell your mom anything. Don't snitch. Don't snitch on me, and I won't snitch on you. Okay, those are the prerequisites. Don't bring any boys into my house. I will kill him, and don't snitch to your mom, and I won't snitch to you.
Do these rules apply to your sons?
Absolutely. The rule for my son is rule number 1: don't you dare make me a grandfather before the age of 40.
Will you feel old? Is that why?
No, because then my wife is going to feel old, and then she's going to physically feel old. All right?
You're 40, like, I'm almost 40. Oh, man.
Yeah, but listen, it just fits into the rule. Like, for my boy, listen, you gotta understand, I'm Puerto Rican. Like, literally almost every parent I met told me, yeah, so I had my kid at like 17, 16, 14. So it's that Puerto Rican blood in me that I'm afraid is going to taint my child. So I had to like squeeze it into him. Don't do these things. Okay? Hopefully the European lady that I marry is going to cancel out my genes. So therefore the bloodline can be purified. So I have to be very just those are the 2 rules,
Okay,
and the second rule also applies to the blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to hear the ghost stories. I guess I can rewatch it.
Yeah, the dogs were barking and stuff. So I heard part of that. Like, I know Katie would be super interested in it. So
I can pick up where the baseball hit me in the head.
yeah. You and your wife were staying somewhere.
A bed
Right.
and breakfast in St. Augustine. So I don't know if you guys are aware of St. Augustine. It's the oldest continuously populated city in North America. So everything there is like 400 years old.
In Florida?
Yeah. And there's like all these old buildings and lots of graveyards, and they do the ghost tours. It's a fun, if you're into ghosts, it's a fun visit. If you're into history, it's a fun visit too.
All right.
Wait. Hold on.
Nice.
2 seconds. Actually, Andy, will you grab my purse?
Yeah, I'll grab your purse.
My girlfriend that lives in Florida, there's a town we were going to go to. And I want to know if it's by there. Is there like this thing called the Devil's Chair there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's where we were going to go.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm excited now. I'm really invested.
St. Augustine is one of those places you have to do in Florida. Like if you ever go to Florida, it's kind of like a must stop. So
The Devil's Chair?
I screwed up. Yeah, if you sit in the chair at midnight, supposedly the devil comes to talk to you. I would do it.
yeah,
In Florida?
I think the one you're thinking of, there's one where it's like the old execution chair. You can sit in it, where people have died through electrocution. But there's another one, I'm thinking about it, east of Orlando, south of Daytona, outdoors. It's called the Devil's Chair. And I think that's the one you're thinking of. That's like an hour and a half south.
Yeah.
It's,
Where is that?
It's an hour and a half south. It's like East Coast, south of Daytona a little bit. It's in Volusia County, which is where Daytona is.
Yeah.
Near Daytona. It's out. It's this chair, like it's like these branches are holding this piece of concrete or something up. And apparently, if you sit on it at the right time, midnight or whatever, you can commune with the devil.
Oh.
Yeah. There's what's the name of the
You of course need chalk and black candles and
Yeah. Oh
all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, in Casadega. That's where it is.
Yep. That's near
those.
Daytona. Yeah.
We'll go.
Okay. Anyway, back to your story.
Yeah,
I'm
back
super
to your
sorry.
Oh, I mean, just to rehash. So I'm taking a nap. We're in this It's just us on the third floor. We only the only room on the third floor of this old house. We have a balcony and there's a stairs leading up to us. The only thing up to the third floor. And I'm taking a nap. My wife's watching TV as we just relax, getting ready to go out for the night. And I wake up because I feel like a baseball hit me in the head, and I had a lump and everything. I blame my wife. Like, what'd you throw at me? Why are you mad at me? I didn't throw anything, and I had like a big clump or something that hit me.
Oh, wow.
So we go out that night, come back. We're laying in bed, and we hear people walking around our balcony, which you have to go through our room to get to. I jump up. I'm like, I go out there. There's no one out there. I'm like, this is really weird. I lay back down, and I think my wife pulls the blanket off me. And I wake up because I'm getting cold. I'm looking around, and the blanket's on the floor on my side. Like somebody pulled it that way. And I thought she'd done the old pulled it off. And then I wake up because somebody yanked my foot in the middle of the night. I thought it was her kicking me, but no, something had grabbed me. So that was kind of like, ooh, something's here. Something's messing with me.
Yeah, that's actual poltergeist stuff.
Yeah. So
Wow.
like some of the most common things because I mentioned we watch like ghost stories and videos and stuff. Like one of the most common recurring ones is like just a simple object flying across the room, and that includes like a blanket being pulled off, or maybe something hitting your head or whatever, so that's you wouldn't sound as crazy as you think.
I mean, it helped my writing, because it allowed me to do some scenes for my writing. So
I truly, when people say like, you're never going to believe me, or, I'm like, I will always believe people.
Yeah.
And that's why, sorry.
I think the other one I can tell you, the house I grew up in Florida, not anything weird about the house, built like in 88 or something like that. So I moved there when I was like 8 years old. And there was the prior owners, they convinced us that somebody had died in that house. So it's on our minds, right?
Yeah.
So the last bedroom down the hall was my office for many years. I'll sit there, and I would be convinced my daughter is in the doorway. And I'm like talking to this thing in the doorway. I'm like, hey, sweetie, what you want? And I turn, nothing there, and I get up, and all my daughters are asleep. So there's like a 8-year-old girl that used to come down the hallway and stare at me. It happened multiple times.
Oh man,
my kids don't like visiting that house anymore.
You said you were doing research on like demonology and stuff
for my book.
So you know about them impersonating innocence.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait on that video until, because I want to talk about this.
I'm just trying to find a good freeze frame. I've already mentioned this too.
I definitely want to.
Yeah, the gins.
When you guys are ready to hear, I definitely have things to share.
It's all you.
I got my mood lighting going.
Yeah.
Us too. So
I can match you guys here.
Yeah.
I want to share a few things. My very first like supernatural experience, I remember extremely well. I was very young, probably about 6 years old, and I was sleeping on the top bunk, and my sister and I, we didn't share a room, but we, would just sleep in one room. So I wake up and it's like, still orange because the sun's just coming up. And this lady, I know it sounds weird because she's like, got to be really tall to be leaning over me, but this old lady woke me up and said goodbye to me and gave me a kiss on my forehead. And like, I could feel it. It was really crazy. And then I fall back asleep, and then I woke up, right? And it's still kind of early in the morning, and I heard my dad talking on the phone. So I, remembered my dream, thought, oh, that must have been a dream, right? So I climb down, go out into the kitchen, because my dad's not usually on the phone early in the morning or at all. And I wait for him to get off the phone, and he told me that my great-grandma had died that night before.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So anyway, that's...
She came and said goodbye.
Yeah, I think so. It was wild. That was like...
I got a similar story, which is, I don't want to top you or anything, but it's just a similar story I can share.
No, yeah, let's keep going back and forth all night.
Oh, there's no topping.
Okay.
It's just
that guy. So I'm 2 years old, so I'm telling the story secondhand from my father because I was 2 years old when this occurred.
Yeah.
My father's mother, she was 16 when he was born, so very young. She worked every day as a waitress till like 2 or 3 a.m. all the way through her entire life. It's very poor. That was just her life. She had a habit of calling my dad like at 2 or 3 in the morning, let him know, hey, I'm done with work. I'm fine. I'm home safe, and just let him know. Right. So she smoked her whole life, gets throat cancer, dies of throat cancer when I'm 2 years old. Very, very tragic. About a week after the funeral, my dad gets a phone call at 2 in the morning, and it's his mom saying, hey, Neil, everything's fine. I'm fine. I love you. And, she did it every day for years, 2 a.m. He's like, oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too. Hangs up. The next day, he's like, my mom woke up to the phone. It woke me up. The phone ringing. So like the whole house, like, Dad, who called last night? Oh, it was Mom. Mom called.
That could be a good glitch in the Matrix story too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, even now, just telling the story, I get a little ASMR going here. Like, ooh.
Yeah. My ex's dad would always go hunt in Montana, and when his mom passed away, he went hunting, and it was the first time he went after she passed away, and he would go for his birthday. So he's there on his birthday, and he's miles and miles from anyone, trying to get a moose. And he said he was in this open field at the time, kind of by a tree line, and he sees something floating, and literally a freaking pink happy birthday balloon floated and landed right by his feet. So like, I believe in that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
And just like things we can't explain. I had gotten sleep paralysis for the first time in a house and found out that everyone was getting it. And we thought, like, is there radon here? We could never figure out what happened. And then we found, how do you even explain it? It wasn't like a headstone, but it was like a freaking stone under the deck. So there was like wood and all kinds of stuff we cleaned out that spring, and it just said 2001. So that, like, it was kind of creepy. And the guy who owned the house was like, I'm going to dig it up. I'm like, I'm going to leave if you do that. And I don't think he ever dug it up to see what was under there. But that, like, we would hear like knocking on the glass above the entryway door on a split level. So you'd need a ladder to get up there, and like it was knocking. One time I was home alone and everyone left in the morning. I went back to bed and I woke up and my clothes were in the dryer and they were like starting to melt. They were so hot.
Wow.
And it had a timer, so it would never be on more than 60 minutes. So yeah, after that we moved and I didn't get sleep paralysis anymore. And then I moved into a creepy basement apartment, and I was sleeping on my side and I was facing my alarm clock. I have bad eyes, but they're not like, I can still see a little bit, without them. And I sleep with my contacts a lot. So like I can see some stuff, like I can read the time, and the hall light was on and the door was open. So you could see like a little bit. But I woke up and I saw a black shadow figure, and it was solid black, no features. And it was bent at the waist with its face like this close to my face. And I could see it had an arm either on me or the bed. And I moved. Like a week later, I gave them a request for a repair list that was super long, and then made them move me. But years later, actually a few years back, I was working at my asphalt job, loading asphalt trucks. So it was a night job, and I'm watching The Nightmare on Netflix because it's a documentary about sleep paralysis. Hearing my voice echo is really getting to me.
Yeah. You're
fine.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
So, they were doing a documentary about the sleep paralysis because scientists still can't explain what it really is besides, you're half asleep, half awake. That's why you can't move. But there's probably a reason people think it's demons. I don't know, because it's really weird to me that in the reenactments, I never knew other people were seeing shadow figures.
Like the same thing.
Until I watched that. The
Yeah.
same exact. I paused that shit and started crying. And like, you know, it takes a lot to scare me because I feel like on a regular basis, scary things happen to me, you know. So that really disturbed me, and it makes me wonder, because the people that say, oh, well, you're just imagining something scary, right? I wouldn't imagine something like messed up teeth and eyes, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
something just blank isn't that scary, even though it's like the unknown. I get that, but why are we all seeing the same thing?
Like there's something to it, right? Like there's something to it, and we just clearly don't understand it. Like, I don't know whether it's interdimensional beings or demons or aliens or ghosts or what it is, but there's something.
Yeah. Have you ever had any positive encounters with like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just wanted to tell you, if you want to hear my last story.
Tell it.
So
Go ahead.
I'm going to start by saying that I recently met someone to give them a sample reading because she wanted to potentially hire me for her wedding, to do a tarot event next summer. We're actually friends now, and she ended up hiring me. But anyway, we meet up. We're just don't know each other at all, just talking about stuff. So we start talking about energy. You know, we're talking about our kids, stuff like that. And then the energy, mainly between like people who do cold readings and believe that it's just the cards and there's no intuitive or, you know, anything like that to it. So I kind of stopped in the middle of what I was saying, and I was like, I just have to tell you this. And I don't know why I wanted to tell her this, but this is what I tell her. For years, on the way to my mom's house, I would pass the cemetery, and I loved the cemetery, and I don't know why. And so I'd always be like, there's my cemetery. One time I pulled over across the road and took a picture of it. So there's a picture of it on my Instagram. And my sister's like, why do you always call it your cemetery? I'm like, there's something about it. I feel like no one evil has been buried there. It's hard to explain, you know? So like I would just drive my sisters and like whoever crazy saying that every single time we passed it. So after a couple of years of doing that, well, a few years, I had my mom in the car with me and my sister too. So we drive past it and I say the same thing. Like I had never been in the cemetery either. Just took a picture across from it. And I just like, it made me happy every time we passed. So then when we pass it with my mom, I say the same stupid shit. There's my cemetery. And my mom's like, oh, that's a pet cemetery. I was like, you're freaking kidding me. Like I told you no one evil was buried there. So I actually have never felt that specific energy, and not in that intense way ever, except for one other time. My friend's aunt's house. I walked into her house and I said, like, I love the energy of this house. And I explained to her that the only other time I felt it was at that cemetery. And that's when I learned that she had been fostering and adopting a lot of animals, and they were all buried in her backyard. Not all of them, but, you know, a lot of them. So I tell her this story, and she's like, are you freaking kidding me? Because I literally kind of derailed what I was saying to just tell her this. She was like, do you know what I do for a job? And I was like, what? She freaking cremates pets, you guys.
Wow.
So like I just felt like telling her this random story about like a pet cemetery and like pet energy. So it was pretty cool, and we got a little bond over that. But it's not really too supernatural, but it kind of is because it's the energy coming from the place.
Yeah.
And one time I went orb hunting and I was taking pictures of a cemetery, and there was like no orbs. So I'm like, well, this is a bummer. And I turned around and took a picture of the church across the street, and there's thousands of orbs in this picture. I should show you guys my orb picture sometime. I got one that looks like a giant rainbow Death Star. And one that's behind an ottoman in my old apartment. So that can't be lens flare or dust or, it's behind an object partly.
I love those old ghost photos where like you see like a person who's supposed to be dead in the background of the photo or stuff like I get off on those. Those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't watch like Nuke's Top 5, Sir Spooks, Slapped Ham, those are really good videos and they're user submitted. So there's a lot where we're like, no, that's fake, but a lot like you can't explain.
You can see, you can see the fake ones, and that's what I'm saying. Like over the course of years, like seeing so many videos that are obviously fake, some that you just can't explain, but like you start picking up on things that are like similar, and like one of them, like I mentioned, is just like objects moving. Oh, cool, the chair moved. Whatever, that's one thing. But like the way she describes like the shadow person, like the shadow people are really weird. It's super weird. Like they're like that. There's some manifestation that happens, and I don't know why. Can't explain it, but it definitely happens.
I've learned to fight my way out of sleep paralysis too. Oh, and also we get it in this house, which I never used to growing up either. So I think it might be something that's like, attached to me maybe.
I used to get in the car a lot when I was a kid.
Really?
Me too.
We go on vacation. I would fall asleep and I would be awake, but I can't open my eyes. I can't move. I can hear my family, and I'd be like, trying to scream.
Yeah.
Eventually, when you try hard enough to scream, I woke myself up. I was like, I got out of it. So it used to scare the heck out of me.
That's nuts. Do you ever get an overwhelming sense of dread and then you see an ambulance pass by or something?
Not the ambulance, but I get the dread part sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, dread.
When my wife goes, babe, like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, dread.
What does she want?
So I've never like had a paranormal experience per se, but like there was a couple summers there where I think I was being haunted, like specifically while I drove. Now hear me out.
No, wait.
I lived.
You've got haunted here. Remember when you were freaked out because you went to open our bedroom door and you thought I was pulling it from the other side and I was sleeping in bed?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that till now.
He has so many.
Anyway, so there was like a couple summers there where it was like specifically while I was driving, and I lived in the country, and it's like out in the reservation of Minnesota,
Orcas,
and a lot of old roads and stuff, and it's like really weird the stuff I'd see. A couple times it was like a large wolf, right? But there was no wolf there. Now hear me out. It was like I'm driving home from work. It's dark out, and like you just kind of get like, no, actually I didn't even get a weird feeling. It was like, oh shit, I'm about to hit a wolf. But it was like that thought that happens so quick, like you can't avoid it. Because like I'm already hitting this animal, you know what I mean? Like that's how quick the thought was. So I slam on my brakes and then like realize I never hit anything. But I swear to God, I saw like a wolf run out right in front of my car, like as real as, and like I was like a teenager. I did like straight edge, no smoking, no drinking, nothing. So I wasn't tired. It was like 8:30 at night. So that happened a couple times. I would see people like standing on the side of the road. One time I thought I hit a person, slammed on the brakes again and realized I didn't hit anything. And I'm just like dead stop in the middle of the road, dude. Like white knuckle, you think you hit something, but then you realize you didn't. And you look around, there's nobody there. There's no like wolf running away. Yeah, so I think there was some sort of attachment to those old roads when I was driving alone. I don't know. That's the closest I got.
Why do the dogs like to crawl under our chairs in here?
They want to be under you. They love you.
Spots, because this ear hurts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a drink and then I'll be right back.
But
Well,
yeah, ghost
Sure.
stories are like a whole stream in
Yeah.
itself. As far as conspiracy,
uh, I've been wanting to share mine all the time.
Share it.
Well, I don't know if it's because of the ghost story, but this happened to me when I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I don't know who it was. I don't know what it was, but I dreamt of a woman who was just down to the bone of a corpse, like
Oh.
no eye sockets, no skin, nothing, and she was wearing a wedding dress, and she just stood over me, over my bed, and I was awake. I had my eyes open. I literally felt awake. And this woman, for some reason, I don't know what it was, just stood over me. And the next morning when I asked Mom, did you come into my room last night? She told me no. I was sleeping there all night. What happened? I saw it, and I told her I saw someone came into my room. And I told her what it looked like. It's like, oh, sweetie, you just had a bad dream. Don't worry about it. Like, I don't know what kind of significance that has with my life, but that's probably the closest I ever got to like what you guys had. And maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but like, what am I don't exactly like the idea that that's foreshadowing that my wife is going to die first instead of me. I kind of prefer it to be the other way around, honestly.
Oh, he said because he you saw a corpse bride.
Very emaciated
Basically.
corpse. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just
it's a premonition. He takes it as a premonition that his wife will die first. It's well, okay. So my wife reads tarot. She could help you disseminate this a little bit.
I would rather do that in person.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm sorry, ma'am. Don't take it the wrong way, but those kind of things, I'd much rather do them in person. You know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like just one-on-one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we can do that anytime, like over the, like just us.
Yeah, I'm nuts about symbolism and stuff with writing, but she's like the professional when it comes to it.
I'm weird. When it comes to matters of religion or dealing with priests, I much rather, well, just those kinds of forces in general, I would much rather be in person. I don't want to invite unwanted attention over the internet, because the internet is just, I think we can all agree, the internet just brings like really bad stuff to the forefront of our screens, right?
Yeah.
So I'd much rather be in a space where I get to talk to you, Casey, and maybe we can figure out what's happening in person,
Yeah. KD.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little drunk.
Like who?
I skipped one letter, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I definitely. So one thing about tarot is that it turns a lot of Christians off because of the stigma around it. So I always tell people that it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or anything. Like, I mean, they even have archangel
well, it could be a message
cards, and
it could be a message from God. Sure.
Well, I mean, you see, like even like the Pope with the incense, and it's
just another
Hollywood, right? But it doesn't. Either way, we all come from the same source, and so whether or not we have the same beliefs is kind of irrelevant. And you can just think they're cards or not, but if you believe that things happen for a reason, and either way, it's just really good guidance for getting what you want in life. And I treat it like that instead of, I don't want to say, people think it's like fortune telling. Yes and no, in a way, but it's more about like the guidance, because no matter what like say you have two choices. It doesn't matter which choice you make. You're always going to be on your life path. You're never straying from it, if that makes sense. And so it's not really going to alter course so much as it is just going to help you with guidance on your life path and your life journey.
And there's also like a science to it, right?
It's good insight.
Like a psychology. Like if you remove all the beliefs and stigmas attached to it, there's something to be said about
Orcus.
shuffling up a bunch of random images and then laying one out in front of you and then just trying to identify what stands out to you first, because then that can kind of like tell you some subconscious stuff that you're working through.
Rolo, stop guarding him.
Like I could see it I could see it being meditative. So, yeah.
I agree. But without the tarot, in your guys' opinion, well, did I just have a dream, or you know?
Yeah, dreams are weird. So
even from like a biblical point of view, like, you know, when Joseph was given the dreams to interpret, he would say, "Oh, these cows represent years." How'd you get that? But yes, he just got it. So it may not be a direct symbolism.
Right.
So, you know,
so that's kind of like tarot. They have like the cards have a base meaning, and then you have your intuitive interpretation, and then also like the art and symbolism. So I think they all kind of play a part, just like dreams. Yeah, sure, life stress and events, but I think there's a combination of things that kind of, you know, paint this larger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like interpreting dreams. I like trying to.
Yeah, like the emaciated woman may not be a literal woman. It might be a passion you have for something, because usually feminine represents passion of some sort if you're a guy. So is there something you love that's going away? Like you said, you're on the cusp of being a man. Maybe it's your passion for your youth. It could be 1,000 things that, you know. What do you think it means? Because you're the dreamer.
Yeah, and it's like a dead woman, right? Like, standing over, like every detail, like it matters almost.
So another really good suggestion for dreams is to keep a dream journal, even if you're like, journaling's not for me. As soon as it's fresh in your mind. I have crazy dreams, and he actually has some written down as story seeds because I have weird plot twists with my dreams.
Dude, her dreams write the plot twists in naturally. I don't know how it works, but her brain just writes the most compelling shit. It's so cool.
Listen, you got the Sopranos dreamer right there. Just write some TV shows for her dreams, and there you go. Seasons worth of.
I suggest the dream journal because I really regret I had this one dream, and it disturbed me so much when I woke up, and it was all fresh and I remembered it all, and then I ended up forgetting, and I really regret not writing it down because it was a poem that appeared on these papers that this creepy lady gave me. And it all rhymed, and it was about how human sacrifice was necessary, and it freaked the shit out of me.
Yeah,
and that one, because it was so creepy, just the way it was worded, and it all rhymed, and I was just like.
And was this while we were together?
No, it was before I met you.
I think you had a clear memory of it when you first told me it, because you like told me some of what it said, and it freaked me out. Even like it was more than just like.
Remember.
What you said.
I should have written it down, but
yeah, that's creepy.
It's like, how is my mind thinking of this stuff, or am I being fed this stuff? And because it's weird. Yeah. Like I have this.
Yeah. You know what? This is call me crazy, but I want all of you guys to give me like the book where you got that feeling, the feelings you get when you're dealing with those events, you know, like what's the passage, what's an author, what's a book where you read it, you like are so freaked out because it matched perfectly those kinds of events in your lives.
I remember the first time a book truly scared me. I was in 6th grade. I read Beast by Peter Benchley, same guy who wrote Jaws, the original novel. This one's about a giant squid, and there's a detailed scene where these people are on a boat, and he describes in detail the tentacle coming up, and there's like each tentacle had little claws inside of it, and it grabs the person and stabs them and crushes them. And growing up on the water on the boats, that freaked me out.
Yeah,
So, I've never seen a giant squid, but I'm always terrified of them.
I think I have some sort of phobia for like super deep, endless water.
Like I scuba dive and I love going deep, but if I ever see a giant squid, I'm probably leaving the area.
Dude, there's some.
I've been around sharks; don't bother me. Giant squid.
Oh man.
From that book, really, is where it came from.
Well, you know the giant squid exists.
Yeah, Arthrodubus ducks. Yeah, they're real.
They just might. They might not have the face suction cups from Pirates of the Caribbean or any of that, but
those are real things. I think they found 90-foot ones recently. It's like there's some big ones out there. So
yeah.
Hey Nate, it's
Yeah,
Katie.
it's so nuts,
Sorry I
dude.
missed your call. Hope everything's going good. Let me know
Hey,
if
Nate.
you think I'll be up for a while. All right, have a good night.
And
Hey,
quick,
Chris just called me. I'm already getting
Hey.
calls from people.
oh, he's
Huh?
He's
What?
Is it Katie?
Who?
Me.
You guys?
Stormcrow.
Oh, sorry. I got confused because someone from one of my workers called me and I don't know what he wanted, but he didn't answer. So I missed the call. But anyway, how did I miss that?
Earlier, before we got into ghost stories, we were going around sharing. We just picked a conspiracy, each of us. And it
Wait, hold on. I want to know, in your opinion, Katie, what's like the book or passage, whatever, that like gave you that feeling of dread that a story ever that the supernatural events in your life gave you.
So that's what I was gonna grab my phone for because it's supposed to be one of the scariest books ever written, and I read it and I don't get that freaked out from reading sometimes, but it was like it takes place in the mountains and it's basically like demons. I don't know.
Yeah, I find it kind of difficult to think of a time too, because like I didn't get much reading in as a kid, unfortunately. I just have terrible eyesight.
Katie,
So-
are you thinking of In the Mouth of Madness?
Is that it? I know that story. That's a good story.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
It's in the mountains and it's scary and
Yeah,
interdimensional demons.
yeah.
Hold on a second, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Like even the reading that I did once I started reading was, it was pretty tame.
Okay, this is
Nothing
on the
really
name of
horror.
the movie.
I should dabble in that a little. Honestly.
Well, I can tell you right now, there's this book that I read at 14 years old, and I am never going to forget it, called Blood Meridian. Have you guys ever heard of that book?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar.
Well, Blood Meridian was written by a man called Cormac McCarthy, and he wrote No Country for Old Men,
Okay.
All the Pretty Horses, and The Road.
Mhm. I love The Road. That's a great book.
It
It's
is
really
not
Maybe
good.
that.
didn't do it
It's
justice.
not that movie, but hold on, sorry, that book. But it reminded me that they were picking up. I think it was a woman picking up her younger sister in the book, and then there's like no other people in the town or something. Like they start disappearing. I don't know.
See, that's creepy.
And it's like a weird like
Silent Hill.
fog mist or
Silent Hill?
no, it's not Silent Hill.
Dang it.
Sounds like Silent Hill, the
It's
game.
gonna drive me crazy.
That movie was dope.
It was.
Super good. I gotta watch that again.
So,
Something
in
about
Blood
people,
Meridian,
like missing. But anyway, go on, Stormcrow. Sorry.
there is this character who's the villain of the book called Judge Holden. And Judge Holden is a 7-foot tall, albino, hairless man thing. Like, no one knows where he came from. No one knows what he is. Katie?
I forgot to tell you guys about the scariest shit that's ever actually happened to me. Can I
All right, then let me give you the passage then. The book takes place in the Wild West during the Indian Wars, specifically when we were expanding, and it was legal to scalp hunt. and we follow this group of scalp hunters as they go around massacring, the Navajo, the what were they called? What they called? The damn it, what were they called? Indians. They were massacring Indians in Mexico across the border. Okay, and the character Judge Holden he's an enigma because we really don't see him commit any act of violence like the way the other characters do, because the book describes them like going into a village, massacring the people. We see them scalping them alive. We see them killing the kids. We see them doing the things to the women.
What's that book called?
Blood Meridian.
Because I read a book when I was a teenager about, it was like from the perspective of a teenager, but it was about stuff like that.
The kid. Yeah, that's literally the protagonist of the book. He's called the kid. We don't have a name, and he's a teenager. He joins this group of scalp hunters as they do this across the border. Anyway, the judge. Okay, the judge. Huh?
That's really what it's about?
Yep.
Oh, maybe that's the book that I read. But yeah, that one freaked me out. Stop it,
Yeah.
Rolo.
And Judge Holden, you think, okay, this guy's a brute. He's stupid. He's just a murdering psychopath. Nope. He's probably the most eloquent character in the whole book because he goes on speeches on the galaxy and minerals and the nature of humanity. And he gives like these long, like Bible-like speeches on like the father, what the inheritance of the son receives and how to raise a child. And there's a speech at the end of the book where he basically describes the nature of war and basically saying that war is the truest form of divination that humanity will ever achieve. Before man was, war waited for him. The ultimate trait of winning is ultimate practitioner. That's the way it was and will be that way and not some other way.
Sounds like a cop-out for barbarianism.
Yeah, and the speech ends with him saying, "Seeing so, war is the truest form of divination. It is testing of one will against the will of another, against that larger will, which it forces and binds them and forces them to connect. War is the ultimate game. War is God."
The most dangerous game is hunting people. So, yeah,
and
war is inherently human. Yeah,
it is
the natural state.
Yeah.
And actually, on the subject, ants wage war.
Works.
But go on. Sorry.
At the end of the book, the way the book ends, he is just dancing. He is at a bar, and the bar is filled with people, children, women, men, and he is just playing the fiddle. And the way the book describes it, he's playing that thing so beautifully and masterfully that everyone just starts taking their clothes off. There's a fight breaking out. There's a dead bear. And everyone is just dancing along with this guy. And the book ends with this. He says he will never sleep. He says he will never die. That's it. That's the way the book ends.
Yeah, it's not the book I read.
Everyone needs to read.
Doesn't sound age appropriate.
Everyone needs to read that book.
Library, so it definitely wasn't that.
I read it at 14.
That would, yeah, I could see why that would be scary.
Was it in your school library?
I bought it actually
Oh,
at Books A Million because another YouTuber recommended that I read it. The channel is called Better Than Food Book Reviews.
Nice.
So when Andy and I met, well, the first time we actually I went to his apartment, we stayed up all night watching scary videos, cryptid videos, stuff like that.
Jen.
And he told me about how experiences of his friends and people about rakes. Do you guys know what rakes are, or skinwalkers?
Yes.
So I'd be poking fun at him for believing in rakes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then one night, the universe gave me a nice fuck you. I Oh, dude, this was messed up. I was driving on
Yeah.
my way home, and it was pouring rain, like torrential downpour. And I come across this corner, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of woods. And I come around the corner, and in the other lane, I see this like probably 6 foot tall, skinny, really pale. It looked like a giant bat person, and it had no hair. It looked like it was like this, like washing off in the rain, and it freaked me out. I called him, and I barely had service. I'm like, you got to talk to me on the whole way home.
Yeah, I didn't know
And-
what was going on.
And I felt like an idiot for like making fun of him. And then I saw a freaking rake, I'm pretty sure. And I didn't even think about it being a rake until we actually like discussed it. And then like, I don't know, like a week later, we realized I had a dash cam, and I looked and it had looped over. So I didn't get footage, but I could have potentially had footage of this freaking creature. And I don't think it was a skinny meth head like washing off in the rain, but you never know.
Because
It
she
scared the shit out of me.
she described remembering like a wing like membrane, and it was
Yeah,
like doing
like-
this like cleaning off in the
Yeah.
Like the Jeepers Creepers creature.
kinda
Yeah, it was, like,
yeah.
bald
That's what I
and-
imagined.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
It
like
was, like,
standing in the road.
White, like pure white, like the whitest Irish person.
So I don't know what that would even be mistaken for. I don't know.
Just a
A
person.
silky, maybe. You guys heard the silkies, right?
Is that like a spirit?
It's an Irish spirit that takes on the form of a human and tries to seduce humans.
Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting.
It was
Mm.
not doing a good job seducing me.
So the rakes that my friends saw, there was a little bout of time where homelessness crept into my friend group a little bit, but we all lived in the country, so they kind of took it as an opportunity to camp a lot, which ended up working out. Except you get a bunch of kids camping in the woods, and then you get ghost stories. So anyway, multiple times and from different perspectives, I had them corroborate the same story separately. Like, and I asked, like, I almost set them up. I asked them questions in a way where they would, I would be able to tell if they're lying. There would be some sort of thing that didn't match up. But sure enough, they all told me the same story, just like from a different perspective, like the same events generally happening, and it's just crazy. So like, there was like 3 or 4 stories, but the one that stood out to me, they had like their ladies out in the woods, and I guess their ladies got a little ahead of them on drinking for the night, and they were getting a little too drunk too quickly. So they were like, okay, well, we're not going to stay here. We're going to go somewhere else. And I can't remember where they're going, like a buddy's house or something. But they were just trying to get them out of the woods before like nightfall, So, one of my buddies was like assisting one or both of the girls along because she's like staggering. But like either way, my other buddy had a good view of like the surroundings and stuff, and he said he kept seeing things out of the corner of his eye. So, and when he turned around, he would see like figures duck back in behind the trees, like it was just like looking, and then just does this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's they're reacting to like him seeing them. And he's just like, I'll just ignore that. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to freak anybody out. And he keeps going. All of a sudden, one of my other buddies, hey, did you see that? And he's like, he just gave him a look or something. But yeah, like sure enough, there was like multiple of something, like watching them. It's super creepy. Multiple times.
Reminds me of a time I was camping with my friends. We had a cabin. There was 5 of us that we graduated together, and every summer we would go on a canoe trip and pick a place to camp. Or this time we had a cabin. We got jobs finally. before the cabin, and we were drunk one night, and it's kind of like the story there, and we were all convinced that there was something in the fields approaching the cabin. Like one of us woke up first. Matt woke up first, and he's telling us, "Hey guys, there's something," and we're all looking out, and we're convinced there's something approaching us from the cabin.
Oh man!
So we were armed, so we opened fire.
Oh, you went right to that.
I think we were looking for an excuse to open fire.
Yeah.
It was nothing. There was nothing out there, but at least nothing survived.
yeah. There wasn't anything after. For sure.
I remember that night. I remember the next morning, you wake up and you're like, yeah, I went through 50 rounds. I reloaded.
I reloaded. Dang. Yeah, it's creepy when multiple people see the same thing.
Yeah,
and like the human brain is pretty nuts. I mean, like, yeah, just from the story I recounted, all of that could be explained away with as simple as like, oh, there's just other people out there, or they didn't actually see that, or whatever. But like, my buddies weren't drinking yet. Like I said, their ladies got a head start on them, and they're like, oh, well, we should stay okay, you know. And I don't know, just the way they corroborated it without having to even talk to each other, and me trying to like trip them up by leaving certain details out, and then he's like, oh yeah, and then this, and he says the same detail, and it's like, oh shit, that's weird.
Hey, I mean, that's good. That way you have witnesses. That way you don't feel like you're nuts.
Well,
you know?
It's kind of the same thing where, like, when you scour 1,000 questionable videos or whatever, and like a dozen of them out of 1,000 are like similar, those dozen seem really weird, you know. And I've seen other like actual videos kind of like that exact same thing that my friends described, which made me even more interested in this, which is why when I met Katie, we stayed up all night watching creepy videos, because I was already into it. Like, you know, YouTube matures over the years or whatever, and all of a sudden I just get like algorithmed into the creepy videos, and it happens to be exactly what my friends were describing. I don't know. It's creepy. But,
you know, what
too.
is some kind of video that you guys just refuse to see? You know, like what is something you guys are just like, you know what? Just no. I don't want to do it.
I'll skip anything that's got graphic rape. That doesn't sit with me. I'll skip that. Like, I'm watching my wife loves horror movies. I'm not the biggest fan, but I'll watch it with her.
Yeah.
We're watching The Hills Have Eyes. There's a pretty graphic rape scene. And I'm like, oh, skip.
It does. I mean, it could have. It was unnecessary.
Yeah.
I understand if it's in the story, but like, there's a level of detail and a length and stuff like that you can just gloss over.
I agree. I really, you know, if it has anything to do, I mean, like if I'm scrolling on Facebook and it's like, oh, animal abuse caught on video, don't need to see that.
Nah.
I don't need my blood to literally boil more than it already does. So that, and of course, like rape and stuff. But I think there was one thing that was really hard for me to watch in House of the Dragon, and that's when they were the birth scene where they gave her a C-section without telling her, like, and that's because I had extreme birth trauma. So our first one we lost to a cord accident, so I had to be induced and have him, and we didn't know until he was born that it was a cord accident. And then with Xander, I had my high-risk pregnancies and my uterine AVMs and embolizations and all that stuff. So there's like, I had to deliver at the Mother Baby Center at Abbott, which is like the best place. And since it was an hour away, they induced me at 39 weeks. because they were worried that I would bleed out, and they had to have like this whole team ready. But we had like a birth plan ready, and they came in and broke my water without my consent after we agreed not to, and I was at 3 centimeters, and they made me go through labor for 42 hours before they gave me an emergency C-section. And during that time, you could hear the heart monitor go, and then his heart rate would drop to 60, and they'd make me flip over and move around and try to get it back up. And I mean, I had to fight with them for the longest time. And finally I was like, dude, where's my doctor? I need a C-section. And she's like, oh, she's in the C-section right now. I'm like, well, you have people that do emergency C-sections on call, right? Yeah. I'm like, well, go get that doctor. She's like, oh, I'll just go talk to your doctor. And my doctor came up like 5 minutes later, and I'm like, I'm not reading these, just let's go. And I signed the papers as they were like bringing me into the room.
Yeah.
But it was awful. My first epidural failed. And then after it was just, yeah, I found out from reading my chart that I had a severe infection from the water being broken too long, and no one even told me. So when I woke up after the C-section, there was 4 nurses like losing their minds because they thought I was going to go into cardiac arrest. And my heart monitor was freaking out. It was a big deal. So like, yeah, watching that was, he was brand new at the time. So I don't know, like, if it would bother me now, but it was really, like, real, that scene. So if you guys saw it, you know what I'm talking about. It bothered me. I couldn't watch it.
There is a moment in one movie I saw called Come and See, and I don't think you guys ever saw that. It's it takes place during World War II, and it's about the Dahllinger Brigade, which is basically a Nazi army branch of the Nazi army composed of nothing but insane, just like the absolute worst scum that Hitler can scrounge up from prison and mental asylums, and gave them guns and sent them out onto the Belarusian front.
Where's that
and
movie? Sounds
Come
awesome.
and see.
True story.
Come and see. And listen, I say that, but I say this knowing me, right? This is one of those movies where I do not want to see again.
Yeah.
Because what they do is the whole brigade entire mission in that front was exterminate all the Belarusians. Just kill them all. And what they did was they gathered all of the villagers due to some collaborators that like gave the position of the village, right? So they gathered all of the people inside a church and just said, hey, if you don't have any kids, or if you're a kid yourself, you can come out. Basically boys, just like old boys and single men. Yeah. So those guys, there were so few of them, the main character was one, they were pulled out of the church, but like everybody else, like women some women were pulled out because of course, and we see a scene where a man grabs a baby from a woman's arms and just tosses it back inside the church. Mm-hmm. And then what they proceed to do is they burn the church. Yeah. They start throwing grenades in there. And
well, you're ending it quicker.
That has really amazing ratings. 90% Rotten Tomatoes, 92% Google. We should definitely.
They burn. We sit for 10 minutes as I see this entire village be exterminated, right? And the whole time the main character is just losing it because throughout the whole movie, he is going more and more insane, and the noise and the people are just laughing as this happens. They are shooting it down. They are gunning it down. They are just laughing as they do it. And then to finish it all off, We have 4 dudes who drag this kid to take a photo of him as they hold a gun to his head, right? And basically, I'm just saying, you know what? Just kill him. Enough. And
Yeah,
as
that
the
happened.
dude takes the shot of the camera, right? They take the shot and they just leave him there. They just leave him at the burned wreckage.
Yeah. It's there's photos that exist of Japanese officers with their severed heads that they've been collecting.
Somebody I knew back in the day when we were like 16 played one of the videos of someone being beheaded.
Yeah.
And I
can't.
couldn't do it. It disturbed me so bad.
I can't.
And his screaming and like I just can't. And then also did you guys see Sons of Anarchy?
Yep.
When they burned Tig's daughter alive, I had a real hard time with
Yep.
it. That was really fucking bad.
Yeah. And anyway, so back to this scary stuff. I couldn't offer a scary
That's
passage,
scary.
but I could offer like a couple nightmares I've had.
Go ahead.
I used to have recurring nightmares, and then now like I don't dream at all. But I just remember this one when I was
the weed you smoke.
Yeah, probably. But I just remember as a kid, like I had this dream where I would come home from school and none of my family knew who I was. And the dream would not end. It would just go on and nobody knew who I was. I'm just this little kid. I come home and nobody even knows who I am. Like my mom is always the one who answers the door and like no idea who I am. Creepy freaking dream when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Did the end of the last Spider-Man movie mess with you?
The most recent one?
Yeah, when everybody forgets who Peter Parker is.
It's different watching it, but like, and I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
But like, I can totally see. Like earlier, I can't remember what we were talking about, but like, we were discussing the idea of like people in the city, just like not existing anymore or like disappearing.
What are you talking
and
about?
like it becomes a ghost town. I don't know. Something about that's pretty creepy.
Who are you
know what
talking
I mean?
about?
I can't remember what we were talking about earlier.
Who?
I think it was just like a scene in a movie that was mentioned.
Who? You and who?
Stormcrow.
Oh, I thought you meant me, and then I'm like, what?
No. And the other thing, when I was a real little kid, vampires, like legit scary vampires, are actually horrifying if you make them monstrous, you know. And this captivating creature that just wants to like sneak up on you while you're sleeping, you know. Creepy. And
I can give you this one. I mean, it's so banal, this nightmare I had, but the implications of it are not good. I'm just laying down on the floor or in a bed, and there's no door, no window, but it's all like a solid white room, and literally the only thing that had color in it, the whole thing, was a rope with a noose around it. And I'm just staring at it.
Well, like some
That's
things that
it.
jump.
That's the whole dream I had.
Well, like you said, you're laying on a bed or something. Is that what it is?
Like, I don't know if I was laying on the bed or just on the floor, but literally like a camera shot, just pure white, and the only thing that had color was this brown noose.
Yeah, that's like an album cover or something. I can see that. That's a like horrifying dream. You know, nightmares are crazy, man. They still really can't explain them.
Yeah.
But
the only recurring one I ever for a nightmare had was I'd be in an elevator, and the elevator shoots up, exits the building, but it's still attached by like these cables inside, and it starts flipping. I'm in the elevator while it's doing all this.
Oh my god!
And it's trying to eject me out while it's flipping. So that's my only recurring.
So it gets like it starts off chill, But then you
Yeah, just an elevator. You know, no big
all
deal.
the
All of
G-forces.
a sudden, I'm out, flipping.
Oh man, it's
Had
super
that a
like
lot.
chaotic. I
Yeah.
bet.
We used to, my dad, no, sorry. It's my mom's cousin, I think, or second cousin. Anyway, they were like kind of distant relatives, but they lived like 15 minutes away, and they used to do daycare for us when we were really little for my dad after my mom took off. And I used to have recurring dreams about that place, only it had like a secret passage, and I was always like hiding in there and like going up to a different room and hiding. Like, all of these weird dreams, but it always was a secret passage in that house. So I ended up bringing it up one time when my sister and my dad and everyone, we were all having dinner, and my sister, who was almost 3 years older than me, was like, the house did have a secret passage. And so I had been like dreaming about it, thinking it was just crazy, but it's because it actually had a secret passage. So I thought that was kind of wild. But as far as like, I used to have recurring dreams where we were in the car and I was a passenger, and we'd just like go way down, like straight downhill, kind of like driving in San Francisco, which was not fun.
Yeah.
And like just
Or
that like
lose.
dropping feeling, you know, that wakes you up.
Yeah, there's some
Drive
falling
away.
recurring dreams in there too. It's pretty crazy, man.
I think the weirdest, like, I mean, I have home invasion dreams a lot. And I think I have a lot of nightmares from PTSD. But that dream with the plot twist, the one.
Yeah, we'll break down the nightmare dreams on a future stream. We're almost at the 2.5 hour mark here. Just so everybody knows.
You just
It
don't
went too fast.
give away your story seed.
Oh, I'll gladly. Those are so awesome and interesting. That
I just gave away mine to these people here before you showed up. So
You gave money to who?
I gave away my seats to these two.
Oh, your seeds.
Yes, yeah.
You
But-
took his stranger's seeds.
I-
Oh, you're not a stranger.
and I did it on the
You took
internet.
his seeds.
I did it on the internet. I don't even have an OnlyFans or anything.
Dog's so obsessed with us.
Yeah, they're
Why
like,
are you growling at Orcus? Ro, come here.
excuse the
Come
dogs.
here. You're not gonna
Right.
fight over who gets to be up my ass. God.
Clip that one. Keep that one.
Yeah, clip that.
Oh my god.
So, I'll
let's
I'll
go
leave you.
outside.
I'll leave you with my my conspiracy. Are you gonna just let them out, or are you gonna be done, or you want to come back?
I'll let them out.
All right, and we'll wrap it up when you get back.
Okay. Come on, boys. I love you too. Why are you
So
giving me those sad
when I
puppy
put the
dog eyes?
tinfoil on, and I get like
Go, boys. Let's go.
really conspiratorial.
Come on, poop heads.
There's one, and this is kind of a combo because
These fellas
this
go.
one scared me.
Go.
Um,
Come on, bro.
and I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but what's scary about it is how plausible it is. Because the alleged leak that this came from was like supposedly from like NASA people that you like used to work there and stuff. And as we've seen from like a lot of the UFO shit recently, it those sources seem to be more credible now. So it's aged to be a little bit creepier anyway. But there's 1 month where I just got like bored of the movies that were out and stuff, and I just went on YouTube and I'm like, I'm gonna look for the crazy shit. I'm just gonna type in Illuminati, see what happens, and then just watch stuff. And like I just kept going layers deeper just to see the crazy that was out there. I was like, I just want to see it all. And it got to the point where it was just like a video of a dude talking because he's so paranoid, and he's breaking down all this plausible shit with the solar system and stuff.
and like what NASA can't tell you about because it's so horrifying, and just basically that there's this other planetary body far on like a staggered orbit with our solar system, and every like so often this body re-enters our solar system and like passes by pretty closely to Earth.
This is Planet X, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know like how like I don't know what level of the conspiracy theory that this part is like on, but like basically it said that this thing entered the solar system, passed by really closely to Earth. It's responsible for like the weird orbit we have and like some stuff with the moon and stuff. But essentially they did a bunch of math and they calculated that this thing's going to re-enter, pass by really close to Earth, and literally as it passes by, like turn the poles, right, from its like magnetic, or it's a gravitational pull. Like that's how much gravity it has, and like that amount of like electromagnetic energy being generated from a planet passing by that close to another planet. They were talking about it like frying all of our brains, and basically by the time the tsunamis hit, we're just all drooling and pooping on ourselves. Which I took solace in that. I was like, at least I'll be brain dead.
Yeah.
But like I realized I was like parked in front of the real crazy, and it actually was scaring me. And I was like, okay, I've spent a little bit too much time on YouTube, and I should kind of take.
Planet X is a fun conspiracy theory to read about, because some people say like when it passes us, it's responsible for various great events in our history. They'll tie it back to various years or passed by. So that's a fun read.
Yeah. What was that called?
Planet X.
Oh,
that's what people call that celestial body that passes us every so often, causes a great change.
That's a book?
No, it's just another conspiracy theory that very similar to what you were just mentioning.
Oh yeah. I think they called it Planet X. Well, what I was getting at, I think it's kind of funny. They were saying like you got to put tinfoil on your head.
Oh yeah.
So why do people keep talking about the conspiracy theory that Avril Lavigne died and was replaced by some
a reptilian?
No, some chick named Melissa.
What?
Yeah, I've been seeing that for like 10 years over and over randomly.
You know, celebrity.
Like, oh, she was replaced by a stunt double. That's why her sound changed. And
oh my God.
People think that
it's kind of plausible.
Avril Lavigne isn't really her.
I can see it. Like, dude, I saw a meme the other day. It blew my mind. The meme was like, oh, everybody talks about Michael Jackson changing so much, but nobody talks about Avril Lavigne, or not Avril Lavigne, Ariana Grande. And
she used to be white.
Oh yeah, she did. And I didn't know that until I saw the meme. It didn't even look like her. I was like, oh, yeah. That is wild.
That's probably just her trying to reach a new audience, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It was really funny when people were like talking about Kylie's makeup brand, Kylie Jenner, and they're like, y'all are gonna buy lip kits from a girl who didn't even have lips a few years ago. And then she was like, it was just ridiculous because she had no lips, and good old plastic surgery. By the way, a meme just annoyed me, or a tweet. Well, seriously, what are these people talking about? How, oh, you can't be body positivity if you're part of diet culture and you're fat phobic. If you if you diet, you're horrible, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but these people will straight up be the first people to be like, good for you. If you want to get fake tits and lips, you do you love yourself. And it's like, okay, but not if you're gonna diet to feel better about yourself.
Don't you dare be healthy.
That's a conspiracy. That's a good choice, babe. There's a real life conspiracy like right there.
They don't want us healthy.
I think people
Yeah,
are just, I
exactly.
think people are just idiots. Like, of course, there's people that have medication things or diseases or all kinds of things that, you know, they struggle with weight. Hell, I've struggled to gain weight my entire life. I've been made fun of for being bulimic and anorexic, which I've never been either. All kinds of stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Ma'am, this is a very simple answer to why people hate the fact that some people want to take that energy and make something positive of their bodies. Ironically enough, it's envy. You know, they want everyone to be as miserable as they are. And if you are trying to better yourself, you know, whether it be mentally, physically, or whatever, you feel like, oh, so you think you're better than me? Oh, who the fuck do you think you are? You don't get, if I'm feeling miserable, I want everyone to feel that way. How dare you try to be a better person, huh?
Well,
what do you think you are?
They say misery loves company, and that's very true in some cases, but like, I don't want people to be as miserable as me. Like,
well, I do.
When I'm having a shitty time and my friends are doing good, like, fuck yeah, at least they're doing good, you know?
Yeah, but it's just that these people, you know, they're like, yeah, I eat like 5 McDonald's meals a day. I go queen, yeah, slay. Like, like, like they just want to die. Let's be real here. They're just killing themselves in slow motion, you know? And people that don't do that want to, what I just said, have a strong, healthy life, that gives them like a black mirror up to their face and they can't stand what they see.
The bottom line is that if you're not hurting other people and you're doing something to yourself to make yourself feel better.
And we have to add the caveat nowadays, and you're an adult, that is consenting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100% yes.
Well, again, that's doing it to yourself. The kid's doing it; they're not doing it to themselves. That's somebody's pushing that on that kid.
Yeah, that's the sad reality. That I think there's going to be a moment. There's going to be a moment where that everybody's going to get behind.
Yeah, that's why everybody was behind Kyle Jenner, just an adult doing her own thing, his own, whatever you want to call it. But
yeah,
no victims there. You know,
yeah,
all right,
that's fine.
Have fun.
Yeah, there you go. More power to you, America.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't force it on anybody else.
Yeah.
I have a real fear that it's going to be hard for our son to actually find people to connect with that are not completely.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that about your kids too?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm very privileged. We've homeschooled our entire life. We have a very tight knit group of families that we all work together.
Awesome.
So we've been able to be very selective through that of who our kids interact with. It's powerful, you know. They're closer to us probably than our blood family at this point, because the last 20 years we're at a point now where working, half-heartedly, half seriously thinking about starting a commune and stuff, buying some land and cutting off the world. But it's if you can afford to homeschool, I advise it. I recommend it. I'm a champion of it. You can see even my Twitter accounts, the Homeschooling Florida Man.
Yeah.
I push that because you've only got 18 at most summers, 18 Christmases, 18 Thanksgivings, 18 birthdays that you interact with the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm horrified of having children myself, because I see the stories that are coming out every day about school faculty that transitioned a 14-year-old behind their parents' back. And when their parents found out, the kid ran away because they weren't affirming their identity, only for that kid to get raped and abused by another group of people down the road. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, how am I supposed to bring a child into this?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't have a community like you guys, and I'm afraid because why bring a child just to suffer? And I know my bullshit. I don't know if I could ever be a good dad, let alone keep it safe. And
Could be a good dad, for sure.
I'm sorry if I sound like a doomer. It's just that,
No,
you know,
that's
I will
really
love my
good.
kid, but this, I'm scared, you know?
Yeah, there's sorry, there's a good friend of mine that her son, his entire group of friends from high school, only one of them goes by he and him, and it's her son. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just like when I was in middle school and high school, every single girl besides me was bi, and it's because it was trendy. It's literal
Yeah.
trends.
And it's one thing to be trendy, like being bi. It doesn't permanently affect your biology.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
You're not cutting
But
anything
if you're
out.
cutting off body parts,
And all of them are magically married now with kids. So, like, yeah, you're not that bi, are you?
yeah,
You'll just make out with a girl for some attention.
yeah, that's what it was. I mean, I'm a little older than you guys. For me, the trendy was white people listening to rap. Like,
Yeah.
that was the biggest trend. I
Well,
went through it. Like, I had like the basketball jerseys on wear at the school and stuff. It was just,
That's
I don't do it now. It was a trend, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just, like, let's just be real about it. We don't have to try to convert people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can be allies, you can respect people, whatever, but like seriously, like some of the books that I actually saw, like
Yeah.
pages of those books are horrifying to show
Like a
teenagers.
13-year-old, a 12-year-old. It's fucked up.
Like, they don't need to be, I mean,
Amazon listed as 18 plus. Just saying.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's,
And it's not even just the schools too. Everything's pushing this trend, as you know.
right.
Like even Disney Plus, we thought Disney Plus would be a safe space when it's not a safe space.
It's really, really bizarre.
The champion of it.
Yeah.
They're the champion.
Like,
Yeah, and
So,
it's like all people want to talk about. Some people, it's like just over and over virtue signaling. You know, we have some friends where every single time they post, it's something where it's like, I love these native people. Look at this. And it's like,
I've never heard you talk about that
I
ever.
love everyone so much. I'm so inclusive.
Yeah.
But not white men.
I'm so inclusive, but not whitey. I'm, you know.
Not but the thing I've noticed that really, really bugs me the most about those people is that they'll be the first people to speak on behalf of people of color or like, and it's like, why are you speaking for them? You are not them.
You're you. That's your personal experience.
It's like how everyone, I don't know, in the spiritual groups, I just had to get away from all of those people because it was always white girls saying, you can't use the word smudge because it's cultural appropriation. I'm like, I've never heard a single native person be upset that someone said smudging.
Yeah.
Because it's called smudging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are you talking
It's just
about?
more language control.
Or the white girls that say that if you're white, you're not allowed to have braids or dreads. Like, we'll open a history book.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vikings did that. I think they may have been the first.
Yeah.
My husband's Welsh. There were Welsh slaves.
Yeah.
We were great slaves. We were really domesticatable.
Dude, no.
They loved it.
No, everybody knows the Puerto Ricans are the most domesticated.
Guys in our monasteries with our beards.
Do I look like I would enslave someone like him?
Yeah, and then
Hey,
isn't that funny?
But I'm also 13% people of color. Don't forget about my Southern Chinese, Northern African, North and South Indigenous.
And do one of those DNA tests.
My sister did, but she's my full sister. So, Yeah.
Keep in
And
mind,
she looks native, and I just look Norwegian.
keep in mind, we're all also Neanderthal, Mongolian, and
Yeah.
African.
I get really brown in the sun too, and I get a ton of freckles on my arms and legs. Well, and they're always on my face, but they get really dark. And I also get Asian flush like my dad, which is who we have the Southern Chinese from.
Yeah.
So like I get really splotchy and red, and they actually call it Asian flush too. That's not me just saying some racist shit.
She's got that Asian in her. We all got a little con in us.
Oh, but we're all so many things by this point.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Yeah.
Just like,
That's the thing. Why is race shouldn't, like, I don't know. I remember growing up and even in school being taught, and like at home being taught, and everywhere, like, you don't see color. I don't know. They talked about Martin Luther King a lot more back then, I want to say. Like, he had a dream, like, to not see color, you know, and then now it's all anybody sees, you know, and it's just sad, you know, hyperfixation.
well, there's also, mostly white people that say that reverse racism isn't real. Like, no, it's not. Racism is real, and white people are a race. Like, Caucasian is a race, so you can be racist against white people. Let's not be idiots here.
Yeah.
Well, ma'am, to Mr. AC's point, the other colors I like to see are red and green. You know, I sometimes trade those colors in sometimes. And to your point, it is perfectly okay to be racist against white people. Very, very simple reason. I want to hold the whip as a brown person, and every brown person that is racist against white people, they want to hold the whip too. They were denied that for years, and now they
Yeah. Like a rubber band effect. Is that what you're saying?
Dude, when I went to Italy, everyone was so damn racist to me. It was really crazy.
That's Italy, though. Like, they're all
Shittily.
full of pasta and smoking cigarettes.
Their food was actually terrible.
They're still full of pasta.
I think my baseness got me kicked out for a bit.
Hey, you can be such a. There's such a thing as being too base.
Wait, you're what?
Baseness.
Got you what?
His baseness.
Got him what?
Booted for a second, I think. So.
I'm not racist. I have 2 black dogs.
That president was black. So
did you buy them off the market?
I actually rescued. We rescued both of them.
Okay, so you rescued them from the cages. It's okay. We all have our token pets. I have a token Shih Tzu. I bought him from the markets back in China.
There you go. He was going to be somebody's dinner.
So one of the kids, well, okay, one of the guys from work, he's actually about to be an assistant manager.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd be like right under me. But so he called, I called him back, left him a voicemail, and then he said, sorry, didn't mean to call. And I said, oh, okay, glad everything's all good then. And he said, sorry about that. And I said, no problem at all. And then he said, have a great night. And I said, you too. And then he said, sorry, didn't mean to bother you.
This guy's got a crush on you.
Didn't.
Yeah,
you didn't. That's what I thought. Are you drinking?
AC needs to meet this guy.
Yeah. Do I know this man?
Give me the phone.
So toxic and masculine.
He's on my Pokemon Go friends list now.
Nice.
No, he's a good kid.
Nice.
From what I know. I don't know them well. But...
Well, fellas, we're approaching the 3-hour mark. So, McCoppin,
Yep,
what are you about to do
here?
It's only an hour for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was late, everyone.
What's new in McCoppin?
As far as what I'm working on?
Hey, why'd you change your lightsaber?
Don't worry.
it just changes. I can change it on the
Oh,
fly.
Yeah, the vibes too. We went from scary stories to just general talk.
General vibes.
hold on, hold
Here's
on.
the pure white here.
Hold on a sec.
Oh, she's gonna do the same thing. But yeah, go ahead and shill your work.
Yeah, so you guys know about my Paladin books. I got the one out.
Mhm.
The second one's coming out in a few months. I've got the comic book coming out. I've released 4 books this year, so those are all doing well. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then my daughters and I have started streaming. I'm Gen X and they're Gen Z, Gen Alpha. So we've started doing. They make me watch Taylor Swift videos and I talk about them.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And so it's actually ticking off pretty good.
Yeah,
We've been watching Star Wars shows and making fun of Star Wars shows, which is kind of fun to do. So we'll have more projects. My YouTube channel used to be just me fixing boats and scuba diving and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's awesome too. But your girls are awesome.
Yeah, the girls want to get involved, and so some of the videos of them scuba with me or fixing the boat with me, or now we're like, hey, let's watch Taylor Swift videos.
that's awesome.
Do you ever watch Mr. Ballin? Because he's done a lot of scuba stories that are.
Mr. Ball, I'm not familiar now.
Oh,
He's a
storyteller of the strange, dark, and mysterious true stories.
Told it in story form.
We started watching him during the pandemic and watched him grow from like the beginning. Yeah, he's pretty big now, but anyway sorry, back to you.
No, that's really it. I mean,
Strobe.
I'm having fun with lightsaber now.
Okay, well, what about you, Stormcrow?
Well, sir, you already know my biggest project that's involved
Where
Mr.
can we find
Mindfuck.
you?
Oh yeah, McCoppin, where can we find you?
Almost all my stuff's at thepaladinbooks.com.
Okay.
The only thing not there would be like my nonfiction book and my romance book are not there.
Ooh, you have a romance book. Ooh.
I do.
And
It's not even under my name. It's under my pen name, Abigail Grace.
Did you? Wow, did you? That's amazing. Did your wife help you?
She and a couple of the ladies from the life group I mentioned were my beta readers.
Amazing.
So the project, I did it started as a gag. The project was I bet the wives I could write a romance novel they would enjoy that didn't have any sex in it. I said no. I pulled it off. They enjoyed it. There was no sex. There was I would say no graphic sex. Like it's implied. They go to bed and next day happens kind of thing. A lot of implied sex, but nothing graphic about it at all.
I'm super excited now. That's going to be the first on my list for when we buy from you.
Yeah.
Well, so everything I own's $1 right now through that base sale. So
Okay.
if you're interested in anything, everything's $1. So for the digital stuff.
I gotta jump in on that next time.
Yeah, that's a great thing to get a hold of. I can pull up the report. I've gotten 8 sales off it that I normally wouldn't get. So it's been nice just to get the extra sales.
Oh.
Yeah, because then it gets around and people
Yeah.
talk, review, hopefully.
What's weird is my IT book, my nonfiction, it sells like crazy in India. I have no idea who's buying it. I don't have fun, but it's always like in the top 100 in its category because people in India and Australia are buying the heck out of it. So,
What do you mean IT book? Like IT?
yeah, like information technology.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote it's actually Amazon asked me to do a sequel. I have no idea what to do with a sequel. I put everything into the book.
They asked you to do a sequel?
Yeah, if you have a book that sells pretty well, they'll ask you to do a sequel. They ask you an audiobook, and they ask you like, what else can you do? Because the people, they want to sell more, so they reach out to you. That's kind of cool.
You should just write a sequel and just fill it with bullshit. Make it like a funny one.
I had like a buddy who I wanted him to help me write it because he's an expert in this next field I want to write about. I just can't nail him down to write it, so I just need to push him harder, I think.
That's amazing. Okay, sorry, Stormcrow. Back to you.
Back to Storm.
You the best.
Well, nothing physical to chill, but just understand this. Me and Mr. Mindflayer have been cooking something up for months now, and I think it's absolutely going to be fantastic once everything is said and done, we're making a little radio drama, essentially, of a little role play session. And
Yeah.
as Mr. Pritchard here can attest to, I already have an idea for a soundtrack, basically saying, hey, I love Tron Legacy.
Hey, you're
I
cutting
love
out
the
pretty
soundtrack for
bad.
that. I like Silent Hill too. I love the soundtrack. Combine both of those soundtracks together so we can use it for our podcast. I would.
Yeah, you're totally cutting out.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And listen, I'm sorry, it threw me off. It's been all night with this.
Yeah, it's cutting out again. Damn it.
All night.
Oh, no. You're like a robot going.
And look, listen. Fuck. Me and my friend are making a radio show of our role play game. It's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be so awesome that I'm writing a book about it. Okay.
Hell yeah.
And it's going to be a horror comedy, and you're going to laugh. The main character has a emotional existential crisis at the age of 18 because he masturbated for the first time. Okay.
Nice.
Mm.
Nice. You gotta get that.
And that's it. That's my show. That's
And
my show.
you said combining the soundtrack of Blade Runner and Tron
Legacy and Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. That's a dope idea. I know Mind Flayer does he does a podcast, and it's pretty good. He's got a whole backlog.
Yep, he is a genius. You need to get this man on your show.
Oh,
People need to take a break from me. Get the poor man in here. Give him some light. He deserves it. He's an all-star.
I should mention his pod since just give people something to go away with here. Anomalous. Go check out Anomalous. Check out the backlog. Shout outs to Mr. Mindflayer and Stormcrow.
Yeah.
Building this new radio drama. I like that. It reminds me of like War of the Worlds type stuff back in the day. There's deluxe audiobooks that exist now that are kind of like movies. They're sweet. They're super sweet.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. But what about you, love? What do you got going on? And where can people find you, Stormcrow?
They can find me on Twitter. I have around 45 followers now, and hopefully it will keep growing. And for people within the Iron Age, they can look me up on The Gilded. I'm always happy to make a new DM acquaintance on Gilded so I can torture them. Befriend them. Yeah, I'm sure befriend them. And for now, my life has been taken over by work and school, but this does not stop me from making sure you all know that you guys are special. Okay? So if anyone wants to feel special, just look me up on Twitter. You'll get the love as everybody else.
What about you, love?
Awesome.
What do you got going on?
I just tweeted about following our amazing guests and Mr. Mindflayer.
Hell yeah.
And
Thank you.
of course, I need to do that more. I need to be more active on Twitter besides just going on there to bitch about something and then log off.
This Taco Bell had terrible burritos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I complained about Instacart today, and then they permanently banned my account. And I appealed it, and they,
Ooh.
yeah. Well, yeah, doesn't matter, right? But Orcus, can you stop? This is what I'm doing 100% of my life when I'm here. Otherwise, I'm working. And sometimes our baby's here. He's with Grandma tonight, but he just bit me so hard in the stomach it left teeth marks. So life is great. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's shut up. What?
Orcus is getting jealous. He's hurting us.
Yeah, he's
But
like,
anyway.
it's time for bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta
and
trim your nails, boys.
what's your Twitter, babe?
Oh, Moonzilla Tarot. So I'll be around. We're gonna hopefully soon we'll be doing. I have to wait to do my edit of Andy's novel. So
First.
kind of waiting on that, and I still have to send over my contract to go up on my modeling website, but that's not independent work, really. I mean, I'm an independent contractor, but I still have a contract.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not really doing much right now as far as creative ventures, but I'm always reading my tarot. And you can look me up on Moonzilla or on Facebook under Moonzilla Tarot. And you can check out my reviews. So far, 5 stars, happy clients. I have a lot of repeat clients too. So if you're ever looking for any sort of guidance, I work with you too. If you can't afford a reading, let me know. I'm always willing to work with people. And my prices are $30 for full readings, which is far cheaper than most people. Because I would do it for free if I could, but people just hound you for free readings and then stand you up. So it didn't work out. And now I'm really poor, so, that helps. It's still time and energy and effort, But I really do feel like it's my way of being able to be a healer of sorts or kind of a therapist. It's really fun to have people feel reassured and actually say that I help people in that way. So anyway.
As for me, I've just been working on a new promo video that I'm going to show people when I do my round on streams. I've been getting pages from Luke Stone for my comic adaptation. Got big announcements in the future for that. So super excited. Mark Hatherley's pumping pages out too. That's all really excited. Although I just realized the other day that Mark is 100% traditional with his art, so I'm gonna need to get a liner to get his sketches digital. But that's just a whole nother fun adventure, and I'm excited for it. But I'll share with you guys one of the slides.
I didn't even know that.
From my promo video here.
You never told me that. I don't even know who you are anymore.
Add that. There we go.
Ooh.
With and without
Any
background.
updates on when book 2 is coming out?
Look at them boys.
I have all the seeds in place. I've just been trying to put a cherry on top of this one, so to speak. Make sure the comics are like on the way and stuff.
Are you
And
talking
then
about?
I'll start on the next one because I know if I write a whole nother book, I'm gonna start looking for ways to start adapting those into comics too. So this one took me like 2 months, so I can match that if I need to, But, yeah, just practicing that, getting ready for stream.
Also, I am going to be interviewing him, and we'll probably be filming that video this week. And so, other creators, don't be surprised if I come up with a bunch of questions about your life so I can interview you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she wants to do some interviews. So,
Once you see my interview with him, I think you'll probably be surprised.
she does good. So
I look forward to it.
I'm
Have you
not
read his book?
questions.
say again.
Did Katie read your book?
She's editing it. Yep, she
Okay.
read it. Yeah.
Wait,
Or wait, are you talking about the one I published?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the editor.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. My novel, it's a lot longer, so I had to read portions of it to her. But she's gonna have
But
to start editing that soon.
yeah, I've read that whole book too, or he read it to me, actually. But I actually just recently looked at his book and found an error in the very freaking first sentence that I missed.
It's easy to fix anyway.
Tree lines was one word instead of two. I was like, wait,
You know, my Paladin book, there's two great, both me and the editor missed. King Arthur, we spelled the as an author instead of author, King
Oh.
Arthur.
King author.
And we misspelled
Simon.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
It's really funny.
oh no, was
We
it
both
ER?
missed- Spell check didn't catch it. She didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
Oh man.
Did you spell an ERG?
I don't remember how I spelled it wrong, but I remember it was my old lacrosse coach from high school who messaged me and said, "Hey Brian, I just read your book. I love it. You misspelled Pittsburgh."
Oh
I
no.
was like, "Damn it, I did."
Dang it.
Do you appreciate when people tell you?
Oh yeah, it means they read the book and they got invested into it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
debating. I mean, I've found a few in a book I'm reading, and I just don't know if I should tell them. I'm kind of torn. I guess I could ask, like, hey, would you want to know?
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah, I don't want to be, a grammar Nazi, but
Huh?
I want people to tell me if I miss something editing. That's embarrassing, but it happens. But yeah, I do. I really enjoy Andy's writing. I'm a big fan of his music and his writing with that. So that said, I was still actually really, really shocked at how much I like his writing. And it's just a different style, and it's in a novel. So I'm not surprised in a way because I know what he's capable of, but it's just really good in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
You can never stop getting better though. So I can't really see that in myself, but like I'll just keep trying to get better, But hey, I appreciate you guys coming on.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always an honor.
I'm gonna try to keep a schedule with this. I figured since we only did the one before, a little longer in between streams was fine until we got a little bit in a better position. But as you can see from like the dogs, they tend to bark and stuff. Our schedules are hectic, so it happens.
It'll be better now that I'm working a job where I can work 40 hours a week and
Do you two do audiobooks? Like listen to them?
I love them.
I listen to some podcasts, but I have not done audiobooks.
Let me do this then. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I have terrible eyesight, so audiobooks are a great way for me to actually read.
Yeah, and I love listening to stuff.
I'll message you on Twitter, so you get probably. But Twitter's been weird for me today. Like the message system not showing me alerts, but whatever. I can still pull it up. I don't know if you guys ever have produced an audiobook, but when you produce an audiobook through ACX, which is the Amazon production for audiobooks, they give you 50 free books to hand out. So here's a free audiobook.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave a review and shit too.
Marcus,
I appreciate you, man.
we are almost
Yeah,
done.
no worries. I keep forgetting to hand them out. I got them. I've only handed out like 10. So You gotta keep doing this.
One of my favorite one of the things I'm excited for is
almost
just stocking up on author copies and
Mhm.
just
Aw,
handing them out.
When you start reviewing, people probably just send you their books. Say, hey, read my book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave mine to Royce and John so far, just the digital versions. And then I decided, I'd rather just mail people physicals.
Come here. I got
And I just gotta stock up on it. But
John will
that's
get to it. John does a lot of reviews. He'll get to your book. So yeah.
sick. Yeah, John's a cool guy, man. Like, I am so happy with being a part of this community.
Yeah.
Like, it's like one of the things.
Me too. It's actually
Late.
really, really refreshing and nice in so many ways.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I had a Twitter handle that I ended up changing because it was a really old account. But I only got on to kind of help Andy network if I could in my tiny little way, and maybe just find more tarot clients, which I have 0 from Twitter so far. But now I have, a lot of friends on there. Well, a lot to me. So it's definitely been awesome meeting you guys and genuinely good people.
Right. That's the best part. Like, anyway, we'll get caught up like talking, but like it is really refreshing to go back on Twitter and find decent people.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, people talk so bad about it, but it's like, have you been on Facebook?
People also realize that they can shape their own Twitter timeline. Like,
Yeah.
you can make a list of exactly what you want to see.
Well, and Facebook is kind of like that in a way. I just feel like all social media, depending on how you use it, are you using it as a mask and, to be shitty, or are you keeping in touch with people, you can't just go see?
Or business or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. I'm yawning now, so I think Stormcrow's asleep too.
Stormcrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There it is.
I'm falling asleep here.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking around.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Hey, oh man,
I'm talking
I want
to
to.
you guys. Sorry for my absence in the beginning, but
Don't worry. Don't worry your head, ma'am. It's real life. We get it. We get late sometimes. But the important thing is, we showed up. We had an amazing time, and we're gonna have another amazing time in the future.
yes.
Is that right?
And I'll try not to get too excited and interrupt a million times. I have problems with that.
That's the informal conversation format. It's fine. But anyway, you guys have a good night.
You too.
You too, people. Thank you for having me. Sweet nightmares.
Buddhist